I'm gonna die from spitting on a piece of ice. I don't believe I'm gonna die because I got a bad heart. I don't believe I'm gonna die because of lung cancer. I believe that I'm going to be able to die what I was just the thing that I was born for. I believe that I'm going to be able to die high off the people. I believe that I will be able to die as a revolutionary in the international revolutionary folk struggle.
I believe that the white man has done a great injustice to the black man in this country by having kidnapped our people and brought us here and down to the level that we're on today. And today, instead of approaching the factors that their original mistake has created, instead of approaching these factors objectively and realistically, the greatest sin that they're doing now is trying to pretend that they never committed a crime, that they never did any wrong. And when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad points out the injustices that our people are suffering, they make that sin worse by accusing him of teaching hate, or by accusing him of black supremacy, or by accusing him of advocating violence, simply because he is pointing out the real factors in the problem.
We have a little time left. You don't have to hurry so much, Malcolm.
I want my colleagues and the community at large to know just a little bit about who Gene Sawyer really is. I graduated from Alabama State University. I had the privilege during that period of time to be involved in the bus boycott, 1952 through 1956. My fraternity served as bodyguards for Dr. Martin Luther King. I was a member of that security team and alderman in 1971. Until my election today as acting mayor, I was a senior black alderman City Council. I was a supporter of Mayor Harold Washington from the very beginning. I'm honored to say that the mayor trusted me. When I was elected as president pro tem in 1983, the mayor knew that the gavel was being placed in capable hands upon his absence. During the days of council wars, there were those who wanted me to be less than loyal to the mayor, but I was absolutely supportive of the mayor's policies.
Exodus that we have seen, particularly in the black community, saps the vitality of our great city. We must reverse the exodus by creating the reality of safety in every neighborhood. Public safety must not be a commodity that is only available to the wealthy.
We just want a fair share for all the people in this city. Now, I happen to be talking to a black audience, but you understand that I've got to be fair to everybody. And I will be fair to everybody, but I'm going to insist that for the first time, the city is fair to you. Are you with me?
I might be in jail, I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pig. The people are going to have to stand up against the pig. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
Let's see what's on TV.
As the king's brother, you should have been first in line.
Well, I was first in line until the little hairball was born.
That hairball is my son.
Is that what you were trying to get through?
Trying to get.
You bite the fry bites back, my man. Damn, 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 crispy crunch.
Let me put my mind on something that'll motivate me to manifest. What's up, everybody? Excuse me. Trying to eat some dinner at the same time as live streaming. Couldn't have been coming at a worse time. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the. I don't know why I keep saying it so damn fast. One of my co-hosts literally told me like this. Hey, you say things too fast. Nobody can understand you. You need to slow it down. Working on that. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. You are now watching the Corner Show with me, Higher Thinking, and definitely doing things a little bit later on today. Definitely was supposed to live stream Sunday. Apologize for that, but better late than never. I and definitely need to kind of catch up on some things as far as videos and stuff like that. Listen, your brother been caught up on a whole bunch of important things going on the back end and stuff like that. But we are not taking over. We're not. There's no breaks being had. I've just been busy with busy work for sure. And we're definitely going to be. I'm definitely going to be uploading videos throughout the week, starting tomorrow night. Actually tonight. Technically, I'm going to be releasing the intro video that you just saw. I'm going to be releasing that. So it's not a real video for real. Even though it did take a lot of work to make that video, but that doesn't matter too much. So I'm gonna be releasing that video, but then night after or the day after that, I'm gonna be releasing a video on just a quick little reaction video on Venezuela, what's happened over there, or what's the history of Venezuela rather. And then I'm gonna be slowly rolling out the Anton Daniels, Corey Holcomb face off stuff. I've been watching a lot of videos regarding coverage on that altercation, like the altercation itself, and then some of the conversation that kind of happened afterwards. So like that's what goes again. So yeah, I have been kind of keeping up with like a lot of what was kind of happening, and for the most part, my opinion didn't matter. Didn't change from last week when we actually talked about it live. But like ever since like the extra stuff that's kind of been happening regarding Corey Holcomb, like speaking out against the wife and then the daughter, 17-year-old daughter. There's multiple ways of looking at it. Ultimately, when it all boils down to is it's wrong to do that. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be a lot of people that's going to push back by saying, well, all is fair in love and war. You know what I mean? And it doesn't absolve that. It doesn't make it right? But it's just, I don't know what to say here. Anton Daniels simply picked the war with somebody that has almost nothing to lose, you know? Corey Holcomb is almost entirely self-sufficient. He turns on the camera and he gets like tens of thousands of viewers. I mean, live viewers, you know. And then like the video, when they chop it up and make other videos or whatever, however the way he chops up the content and re-releases it on the internet, here comes the ad revenue. You know what I'm saying? Videos getting 1,000 views just because it's him. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Anton Daniels, he's like limited to his actions are like limited for the most part due to his obligations with with the people that pay him. You know what I'm saying? Outside of YouTube, like Anton Daniels wants his brand deals, his brand recognitions and stuff like that. Like and they don't. I don't think they'll take too kindly to him acting like an ignorant nigga on the internet. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate that his family had gotten in the middle of that, got in the middle of the crossfire. But I mean, again, that's just what kind of happens when you kind of deal with somebody that again has nobody to answer for, you know. So there's that, but and there's been other developments kind of coming from there as well, but like that's kind of like the main thing from what I kind of saw. So I will be touching on it, giving a more in depth explanation of what's kind of been going on and my thoughts of it when I do a dedicated video on it. Right now, I'm just more focused on other things. So that leads me to today. Well, first of all, I got a new rug. I've been calling the carpet all week, so I have a new rug. As you see, Chicago Black Delegation, made by my good friend Josie. She been on the show a few times, and she'll continue to be on the show. Took a while to make it, but it was definitely worth every dime. So if y'all can go on like Facebook or just go to Google, I'm pretty sure you can find it. What is it? Joe's Magic Rug. So hold on, let me a second. My bad. Joe's Magic Carpet. See, so that's probably why I call it a carpet, because it's literally that's the name of our brand. So Joe's Magic Carpet. You'll be seeing that featured in all of our videos in the descriptions. So for sure, much love to her for this dope ass rug. Where's the carpet? I don't know yet. I'll have to ask her and find out. Anyway, but yeah, so but yeah, that I knew I was making another point. I kind of forgot it already, but oh yeah, well, so yeah, the purpose of it is well, y'all see it, but like I'm gonna be hopping on other people's platforms and having discussions with them regarding like whatever, and I just want I want the brand to be a part of the conversation. If you feel me, so I don't want people to kind of watch me debate these guys out and like pretty much obliterate them, and them not know who I am or what I'm about. So that's part reason why it's there. But yeah, so y'all don't so y'all recognize what's happening around, what's going on around. It's the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. So all that aside, we do have other things to actually discuss today. Oh boy, we'll kind of start off from one thing. Oh well, first off, I want to kind of discuss how things kind of ran here. On my corner show live streams, I'm gonna be for the most part picking 3 distinct topics, and pretty much gonna discuss them out, and then I'm gonna be introing and outroing each individual segment. So don't get confused if I were to outro one particular segment of the show. Don't think that's the end of the show. It's really just the end of that particular segment, and I'll be introducing the next segment shortly after. Now, in between each segment, I will be addressing any comments, any chat messages, etc., etc. So that'll be that opportunity for that. I'm not taking calls just yet. You expect calls maybe like next Sunday, something like that. But yeah, calls will be returning. I figured it all out. I figured out how to do it. I just haven't like activated all that stuff just yet, but I figured out how to do it. There will be no more numbers and dials and anything like that. It's more so like Zoom calls and stuff like that. So you'll be able to see the person that's I'm having a conversation with, and you will be able to see the person I'm having a conversation with, and all you have to do is like click on the link as opposed to picking up your phone and dialing in and stuff like that and waiting on like a list or whatever. So yeah, so that's pretty much the new news. But yeah, going back to the how shows kind of operated, we will be so and then at the end of the show, I'll kind of signify that or signal that the show is ended, and we'll kind of just take it from there. Anyway, so yeah, without further ado, we're gonna get into like the first little segment here. So on Antonio Speaks. So hopefully some people kind of shoot in here that know about him and stuff like that, and maybe add y'all 2 cents about his position towards things, so on and so forth. I've been familiar with Antonio for a little minute. He's definitely really new. I think he started like last year, if maybe 2024. I'm not exactly sure, but he's relatively new and he blew up really quickly. So he's actually one of those content creators that let me know it is possible to speak specifically to like black folk and still be successful. So that was pretty reassuring, because I honestly didn't think it was possible. You know what I'm saying? I thought the niche was just either closed off or just wasn't really being pushed out for real. So This channel does center around that, so I'm gonna continue pushing and see what I can see if I can make way and break through this little algorithm and speak directly to my people and our allies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Anyway, so like I said, let's check out this video specifically pertaining to Antonio Speaks. Or is it talks? I'll figure it out next. I'll figure it out. Anyway. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. I'm your host, AT, aka High Thinking, and you're watching the Corner Show. So, here we have a video specifically targeting my guy Antonio Talks. He goes by Antonio Talks or Antonio Speaks, whichever one he kind of feel at the time. I believe Antonio Talks is the one he puts the most the most effort into, but even though he's seen, I would say he put equal effort in both of his channels, but they both like almost equally as successful. So that's really dope for him. Again, he's a content creator that focuses on especially black issues or issues that come black people's way. For the most part, he believes that black folks, for the most part, mind their own business. It's just that there's been a lot of conversation pertaining to us, targeting us, disparaging us, and everything in between, coming from not just racist white people, but also self-hating black folks, you know what I'm saying, and other groups that are not white but just still find a way to criticize especially black Americans, but also black people globally. But yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job. But amongst those groups that have been criticizing him specifically is some members of the red pill community. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know much about the red pill community, it's just a bunch of, I mean, you should know, but just for those that don't or whatever, it's a group of people, a group of guys that believe that, and there's some women too. Let me, not forget about them. It's basically a bunch of guys and girls that believe that there is like a lot of hidden. Okay, what they claim is that there is a lot of hidden truths amongst dating between men and women, and then that men, for the most part, have been led astray through propaganda and all these like feminine or female centered talks or talking think spaces and think tanks and what's that word? Echo chambers concept, not word, concept. Echo chambers. So they believe that they're fighting a good fight to like fight against this whole concerted attack to like destroy manhood and masculinity and all these other things. Just, we'll get more into it like later on as as time progresses. But for now, we're talking about Anton Talks or Antonio Talks, and what's this individual has to say about him. So without further ado.
Brad and Keisha chiefly promote.
All right, there we go.
Promote about black men. But where you and I differ is I'm not a liar. 90% of the negative propaganda holding good, productive black men back is propagated by Keisha's. And
okay, so 90% of like the disrespect towards black American men is set forth by, he calls them Keishas. He means black women. That's what he means by that, in case anybody doesn't understand like this coded language stuff that they try to do online. So no, that's not true. There's no indication, no study set forth, put together that states that concludes that black women are the primary downfall of black men. Like there's nothing that he can say to justify that egregious claim.
I saw that lame-ass gender divide video you did. I noticed you really like to go after the Myron game.
And mind you, as you see, he didn't at all substantiate that with any sort of evidence. He just said it and then went on to the next topic. That, Like you have to like question everything these people say at all times, especially when they're saying very anti-black things, such as the gender war amongst black people is especially one-sided. At least 90% of the was the number he used.
And the Brad adjacent black men who don't like black women because they're easier targets to attack. You'd never actually attack an accountable commentary message because you can't.
I'm pretty sure he can, and in the event that he can, I'm intelligent enough to work in this place. So as far as I'm concerned, challenge accepted, nigga.
It's rock solid. You can't refute it. And I find it hysterical that you're talking about the Willie Lynch letter when on your channel you're promoting the concept of biracial kids with a black mom being better than biracial kids with a white mom.
Okay, so there's a very specific reason for that. Hold on a second. Yeah. So there's a very specific reason for that type of a claim. And it makes a lot of sense when you like all things like considered for the most part. But the idea simply comes from the idea of who spends the most time with the children. If the since mothers typically spend the most time with like with the children, since mothers typically spend the most time with their children, the kid will like take up a large percentage, a large portion of like culture from the mother. You know what I'm saying? Now, if there's like if you have a stay-home dad or a dad works from home, things are gonna change, obviously. But we're talking like this is a very broad and like expansive, like broad, it's one of those overly generalized conversations. So this is why I have to kind of speak in this manner, which I really hate doing. But basically, again, the idea is that the mom spend the most time with the kids, and the kids gonna take up after the mom for the most part. Now, if nothing else, the kids will have a great understanding of blackness because when they have with a parent that they spend the most time with, right? I'm sorry. What I mean to say is the child and the children will have a good have a great understanding of blackness. When the parent that they spend the most time with is black, right? Because not only it's not just because they're black, but with blackness comes that lived experience of like being raised around like your grandparents, your parents, and being bombarded with all of the with everything that's affiliated with your culture. And it's almost to the point where there's some things you should already expect that a black person knows because they're black. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things you don't have to explain to black people. So it's only natural that we will pass down that information, that knowledge, those justice claims to our children. You know what I'm saying? Whereas it's not impossible for white people it's not impossible for white people to pass down said information. It's just less expected because they're not black. But there's like a huge growing population of like white people, especially white liberals. They can tell you why black people deserve reparations. They can tell you how over policing can lead to like a disproportionate numbers of black people in prisons. And they can even go as far as they can even go as far as the make YouTube channels and stuff like that, educating other white people about like these different sort of things. I mean, redline. It's like the list goes on, and these white liberals are going to be the ones that will voice these concerns as well. So again, it's not impossible for white people to teach their black child how to navigate in a racist society, right? It's just again more expected out of a black parent. So with that being said, that's why it's more logical to assume that the parent, who is typically the wife, the mother rather, that's more likely to teach the kid black matters and stuff like that. Again, this is just kind of typical stuff. So it's not about colorism and things of that nature or whatever. It's for him to try to say that, for the individual that makes the claim that biracial children with black mothers have a higher likelihood of understanding blackness. That is the reason why Antonio says something like that. It's not what this dude is trying to state it as far as some sort of racist or anti-black. Ooh, excuse me, anti-black attack or anything weird like that.
How is that any different than the Willie Lynch dark skin versus light skin tactic?
I mean, it's extremely different because first of all, it has nothing to do with their color pigmentation. It's entirely to do with like the mentality instilled in them with the parents themselves. So, one thing I want to add to that, if the I already made space for the the black fathers or the fathers that will stay home. Again, that would be one of those variables that kind of change the rule here. If I think I lost that point, it was just on the tip of my tongue too. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I mean, that's just an extension of the gender war between black men and black women.
You can say it's an extension of the gender war, for sure, but it's already been solved. Like that is the extent. That is the furthest, or what I mean to say is, that is the prevailing argument in that. So as far as I'm concerned, case closed as far as that chapter or that section of the gender divide. If any man has a problem with that, then like I said, just be the individual that disproves the rule. You know what I'm saying? Or just know better so that you can so that what I'd rather say is take it as a warning that this is what could happen when you marry interracially. You like that wife of yours may not understand your blackness the way you do or another black woman would. So you have to step up and either educate your wife, or the mother of your child, or take custody of the child, or find a way to spend more time with the child so that child knows as much about their history as they would had they had a black mother. Hope that makes sense.
Contributing to it. And by the way, there was never a time in American history where any black man was a larger misogynist than a white man.
A larger misogynist than I agree with that.
That has never existed. It didn't happen in the civil rights era. It didn't happen on the plantation. It didn't happen during Jim Crow. It never happened. That's just something Keisha's made up so they could justify dating white men.
Okay, so I think there's claims you can still make though. It's like just because. Okay, so this way we screwed it all up. We can say that there's an argument for how black men aren't as big misogynists as white men are. Like there's an argument for that or whatever, but you can't say that it's non-existent. Like there's still a lot of examples of how misogyny still exists in the black spaces. Like I'm just being real about it. You know what I mean? I don't have to how much do we have to talk about like the rap culture? You know what I'm saying? How much we got to talk about lyrics and black lyrics and stuff like that? Even like one of my favorite rappers of all time, Common, has like a song that kind of like does a little bit too much as far as like the treatment of black women. Lupe Fiasco references it, but he's my favorite rapper of all time. He references it, but he doesn't really stay on it too much at all. And again, he just references in it. He didn't. I'm thinking about the song. What was the name of that song? Hurt Me Soul, I believe. But anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, like I said, rap music it's a burning example of how misogyny lives in the black community. Hell, like one of the most progressive group of all time as far as the blacks are concerned is the Black Panther Party. And there's been reportings of chapters in the Black Panther Party that was relatively misogynist. Like the women, they had the same tasks and the same roles as the men, but the men were the ones that got the glory, that got the recognition. So, and that was detailed very, very well amongst a particular former Black Panther Party member. So no, like there's very much so is misogyny, and there is very much so misogynoir in the black space. So that's just inaccurate what he's saying here as well. Let me skip ahead here.
and look at the stats. Oh, black women divorce us at astronomically high rates. I guess I'll keep marrying them. Oh, black women have higher STD rates than we do, and they blame us for it. I guess that makes sense. Oh, Keisha's DV rates are just as high as black men's, and statistically, men are less likely to report and women are more likely to over-report. But I guess Keisha's the victim when it comes to domestic violence, even though the DV rates are even high when she...
Yeah, let me just hold on to I'm sorry, I can't even take it, bro. Yeah, this is like the problem I have with like fake smart people. It's like the people that know statistics, they have data and stuff like that, but they create like actual dog shit narratives based on like these statistics and this data. Okay, like yes, there is a lot going on regarding like all of the things that he said here. Yes, those women exist that are degenerate. Let's just let's put it under that umbrella. But how do I put this? When you kind of marry that with the idea that okay, this is what I mean to say. Yes, there's a population of women, in this case, black women, that not overreport, but like do bad things. Like this, what I'm finna say now and addresses everything he just stated. Yes, these women exist, but using that to diminish and devalue the police and the problem that is like domestic abuse against women is just that's garbage. Like that doesn't make any sense. We can acknowledge that these women, these degenerate women that do this, is problematic. Like that could be addressed. That we can justifiably hold these women accountable. But to let this bad group be the spokesman of like the larger group of the entire group as a whole, and then let that narrative poison the entire movement or the entire subcategory of people, to the point where the people that are abused in all these different ways, we no longer take them serious, right? Because okay, she's a Keisha, and we don't have to take Keisha's serious anymore because Keisha's overrepresent or they overreport and the men underreport, and then when these Keishas do all of these things to men, like that's when you just kind of screw. That's when you lose the plot. You know what I'm saying? Again, we can point out the women that do wrong. Like that's possible to do that. But to assume that there's no such thing as a black when we use this to create a narrative where we no longer have to take women serious because of this sloppily crafted narrative, that's when you become very much so a misogynist, bro. Like there's no other easier way to kind of put it. Let me kind of go back and like re-look at some of the things he said, and then address things a little bit more specifically. 34.
That assertion, because what are we supposed to do, brother? Sit there and look at the stats. Oh, black women divorce us at astronomically high rates. I guess.
Okay, so yeah, they divorce us at astronomically large rates. This is lazy to say it. I'm not gonna spend too much time on all of these different points, but like, yeah, nigga, come on, man. You have to look at the reasons for these women divorcing. Yes, there's gonna be some cases. There's gonna be some non-fault divorce cases. Like that does exist, but when you kind of talk about when you kind of get into when you start speaking to these women and asking them like the questions as far as like what happened in their marriages, some things are just not quantifiable or not accounted for in the list of reasons. It's some of the reasons that they come up with is just not accounted for in the list that is justified reasons to divorce somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. I mean, some girls will tell you that some guys just kind of switched up after they married. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, it's a bunch of reasons, and then a lot of it kind of boils down to like, do you find this is to be a justifiable reason for this person, for these people to get divorced, or for her to call it a divorce? Again, all that stuff just becomes very subjective. But for you to use that as like some kind of a thing to, as far as to attack women for it. Come on, man. And it's even worse that you're just group them all together because of this select group of women that, again, did that what's the word? That disproportionately or overrepresentatively divorce us and stuff like that. And I'm like, nigga, first of all, yes, it's gonna be majority black women that divorce black men because they're the primary ones we marry. You know what I'm saying? So of course it's gonna be more than them than anybody else. But like black men still getting divorced with the white wives. They still getting divorced with all these other type of wives. It just depends on like every individual specific case. Like you can't. It's so much going on with these statistics that you can't just make like these sloppy ass narratives based on, again, these numbers alone. You know what I'm saying?
Guess I'll keep marrying them. Oh, black women have higher STD rates than we do. And
okay, nigga. Yes, bro. This is so goddamn stupid. Like you're trying to attack black women, but like you not realize that you are kind of attacking your own, like the group that you're trying to speak into at the same time. Like you don't really get that for some reason. Like the majority of the women, like black women, like I don't know if you knew this or not, but black men are like the first choice for black women. Like as a whole group, like all things considered, we represent the highest that they marry, the highest that they have children with, everything you can think of. So yes, we are the ones. Black men are the primary ones that they engage with sexually. And if these girls are catching these viruses, yes, they most likely mess around and came from the men. You know what I'm saying? Like these sexually transmitted diseases. Yes, some of them are gained through non intercourse and stuff like that. But bro, majority of the times it's gonna come from a guy. You know what I mean? So like there's some other races of men that engage with that type of activity with black women, but these are the same guys that will say that these are the same guys that don't believe that other races of men be looking for black women. You know what I mean? And they will say that that our women are like the least desired and stuff like that. So it's like I can't even. It's hard for me to even be like to show some level of grace and trying to understand what he's saying, because again, there's just always something that I can come up with, that I can think of, that they say out of their own mouths that completely throws off any attempt at charitability I'll try to apply here. So.
And they blame us for it. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, they blame. Dude, who else are you gonna blame? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Keisha's DV rates are just as high as black men's.
Yes. Domestic violence is bad in the black community, and we all got to work on that. And there's explanations. There's conversations as far as what's the thing. I don't have to get into that now. But yeah.
And statistically, men are less likely to report and women are more likely to over-report. But I guess Keisha's the victim when it comes to domestic violence, even though the DV rates are even high when she's in lesbian relationships.
It's so stupid, man. Like, god damn. It's like, just because yes, there's women that fight back or fight first. That does not mean that a black woman can't be a victim of domestic violence. Like, this is so stupid. It's like, it's just extremely sloppy, like, messaging. Like, and it's embarrassing in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, let's, what else is there? She's actually going to the next point real quick.
And Keisha also leads globally in paternity fraud rates, but I guess that's no big deal.
Paternity fraud rates. I guess I'll look it up later, but I don't know anything about that one.
2. Many Keishas fought against black men's right to vote. But I guess that's no big deal either. Who needs history?
Black women fought. Let me check that out real quick now. Black women fought against black men's right to vote. I'll show y'all too. So in case I don't need to have from. I don't need to have anything from y'all people. How do I do this? What do you say? Black men, black women fought against the black man's ability to vote. I mean, it's like hella nuance. I'm 1,000% sure, but let's see.
Right to vote. But I do. Many Keishas fought against black men's right to vote.
Okay, many black women fought against black men's right to vote. So he said many. Nigga, I guess, man. Like this is so retarded. Like you're demonizing the actions of you're demonizing black women over like the actions of like the few. Like, what look, does he really think that majority of black women don't want black men to vote? Like, is he like, are you stupid? Like, this is so damn dumb. It's like when you speak like this, you're opening the floodgates of like this type of activity happening amongst everybody. Like, it could be like let's say like a 1,000 black women like fought against black men's right to vote. Like, nigga. I don't have to explain this. It's just dumb, okay? Like it's just not smart to think like that because 1,000 women partook in some kind of degenerate act that they believe that the majority that they'll hold account to the entire group, knowing damn well black women will 1,000% benefit from the votes of black men. Like, come on now. Okay, yeah, I got it, I guess. Historical show that black women did not fight against black men's right to vote. Okay. Instead, they were among the most consistent advocates for universal suffrage. Okay. The claim likely stems from misunderstanding of the rift between white suffragists and black activists during the ratification of the 15th Amendment. Black women's advocacy, the black women's leaders such as Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, supports the 15th Amendment granting black men's right to vote. They view the critical step as the universal suffrage. Opposition to white suffragists, dual struggle. Black women often found themselves marginalized by the white women due to race, and some black men due to gender. Despite this, organizations like the National Advocation of Colored Women and the ACW fought specifically to protect the votes of black men. We're done. We're done. So there you go. There's your claim debunk. It's over with. That was yet another dumbass thing a red pillar said about black women. Like that crisis averted. Anyway, okay, let's continue. I hate these type of niggas, bro. Like it's so frustrating seeing these de-educated lames talk all this shit about black women, bro. It's actually aggravating. You have to, if you're gonna say dumb shit like that, you have to substantiate these claims. Like literally in the video, like you have to substantiate it immediately because AI is not gonna back such dumbass remarks. It just fucking won't. Google is not gonna back such dumbass remarks. It's not gonna fucking happen. Let me see.
But I guess that's no big deal either. Who needs history, right? What can we learn from that? I guess educating yourself on the history of Keisha's...
I'm going to continue on. It's just, I debunked that bullshit already. I don't care what extra claim he makes. Because he's starting out by saying, I guess anyway, so fuck him. 2303.
been supporting for so long? What makes them so comfortable that they can go to a Brad and use the system that they claim is so corrupt against them to take a black man down? Why do they feel so comfortable doing that? Has Dr. Umar ever addressed this? Because that's one of the most serious threats against black men, and it always has been.
Yeah, again, just another empty ass claim, bro. Like, say what you want, bro. Like, there's gonna be some women that they'll call the prison, call the police on a man acting belligerently or being a horrible human being. Like, listen, throw all those niggas in jail. Like, I don't like. Listen, I'm gonna be the most pro black channel you are ever gonna run across. Like, I am, to the point where I also understand our ally. I understand that we do have allies in this. If you debate me about it, but like, I'm gonna be the most pro black channel y'all gonna run across. And when people make like claims like this, it's so easy debunkable. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's embarrassing at this point.
Because that's one of the most serious threats against black men, and it always has.
That's why I lost my train of thought. Well, yeah, what I'm saying is like the fact that yes, women are gonna call the cops on you, bro. If you're gonna act like an ass and be like a degenerate human being and one that is breaking the law, yes, she has full range to throw you in prison. Like, it just is what it is. And I mean, not just to like, you know, disrespect you or be anti-black or anything like that. No, because you were just you cannot be. There's nothing that can help you, that can save you at this point. Like some people, some black people especially, just have not made it out of their, have not made it to like a higher to their full consciousness. Like, they just haven't. They still are beholden to like their animalistic desires and instincts and stuff like that. Like, there's therapy that they can reach out to if they have the actual open and transparent conversations with the therapist. They can be saved, but unfortunately, some of us, again, we won't reach that consciousness. There's men in their 50s, women too, in their 50s and 60s, never made it to their actual, never made it to their wisdom era. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to say about that one, bro.
Has been. And they just expect us to ignore it and wait another 100 years and watch so many black men continue to suffer. And that's what I won't do. You know, I get so many of your comments, brothers, where you say, that happened to me. Thank you for speaking about this. That exact same thing happened to me.
I don't care about that shit, man. Like, niggas gonna agree. People gonna agree with all type of dumbass shit that these de-educated lambs gonna talk about. Between the house 6.
You black men, you idiot. I mean, who else is employment opportunity?
Tell me how the black community benefits from you having a white woman.
Because he's offering employment.
Oh man,
I ain't
gonna say too much about this. Okay, I'm gonna let this cook. I don't want to get like flagged or anything like that though.
Yo, I'm not closed off to dating Latino women. I'm not closed off to dating Asian women. I'm not closed off to dating white women. So again, in my search for romance, all of those things were on the table.
But you do understand that by not being with a black woman, you undermine the success of the black community.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion. Then tell me how the black community benefits from you having a white woman.
Because he's offering employment opportunities to black men, you idiot. I mean,
that's besides the point. Like, look, now you're not talking to somebody that is against interracial like relationships. Like, I'm not against it. My whole thing is just be aware of like what you're kind of doing. You know what I'm saying? After you read this book here, Powernomics by Dr. Clyde Anderson, you may like look at things a little bit differently when it comes to like who you partner with and stuff. Like, ethno aggregation is very much so a thing, and the way you kind of maximize that is by marrying somebody that is of black heritage. That's just the hard like facts about it. Now, yes, you can still do things that can benefit like whatever group you want as a somebody that engages in interracial marriage. You know what I'm saying? That's 1,000% probable. But Umar Johnson here is, for the most part, speaking to there's a limit. There's limitations to that comparatively to had you had a black woman married a black wife. But I know Umar Johnson kind of speaks to this in like a different way. But yeah, but let's kind of keep going.
Who else is going to offer them employment? You sure as hell aren't.
I mean, but that doesn't make sense because he's saying that who's going to offer these people employment if this man doesn't if this man on the right does not offer employment. Like, yes, that like you're implying here, what you're literally saying here is black men that marry black women can't provide that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Umar Johnson's not even married, so like I don't even know why he put him in that. Well, I guess I see why he put him in the conversation, but like still, I forgot his dude's name already, but it's very possible for him to like employ black people with a black wife. I mean, that I don't see. I don't like. He needs to maybe he'll justify it. Let's hear it, but I doubt it. It's just been a real shit show up to this point. So.
And that's my problem with these simps. They don't build anything. They don't care about what we're building as black men. They're just like, are you worshiping Akeisha? Yes or no? That's all that matters to me.
Okay, so he provided a bad argument that was easily debunked, with that had little to do with anything, and then he just gave this like his little reasoning to why they partake in this. Okay, that was easy. I can't. Let's do like literally said, like it's impossible to debunk him. And come on, bro.
Won't have $2 in their pocket, and they won't have $2 to give the next black man or the next black boy, but they're worried about who you're dating. Let me tell you something. The true hierarchy of conduct that needs to be practiced among black men for the betterment of the black community is as follows. If you are making your own money and you can support yourself so that you don't have to accept handouts from the government or others, that is not just good, that is great, because you are empowered to move freely. Limiting our access to capital via limiting our job opportunities is one of the main tools that's been used against us as black men. So if you are overcoming that, if you are prospering in these seas, and the waters are vicious, that's not just good, that is great. Now, if you're able to extend that even further into not only...
Like, none of this is attached to like who you marry at all. Like, the conversation is like the conversation that's being had right now between these two gentlemen is, why are you with a white woman instead of a black woman? And he's saying a bunch of things that anybody with a woman can employ somebody, and she could be single. She don't have to marry any. Like, if you have the money, you can make stuff like this happen. You can employ black people. You can employ anybody you want if you got the capital to do so. But that's completely separate. That's a completely separate thing from this conversation. Like, I mean, I understand that he's saying that these are the things that we should be focused on, but like why even bring this up when all this stuff is very much so possible with a black woman? Like, is this man not able to provide the way he would had he had not had that white wife? You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes us so special? I don't understand. Like, what does she offer him that any given black woman could not offer him? Because if she has something that he needed to be able to employ and to be in the position that he's in, then okay, well let's have a conversation about that. You know what I'm saying? But instead, you're not doing that. You just want to talk about how it's commendable that he's able to that he has this opportunity to employ black people. So it's like this is just broken logic of, like, for real.
Only supporting yourself, but being able to be the head of a family via a wife and children that you also support, and that you're also showing every day what strong black male leadership looks like. That's not just great.
Okay, dude.
That's excellent. Because not only are you supporting yourself and others that are under your leadership.
Yeah. He's just I don't have to continue. He's literally just he's not gonna get away from this point. So I'm gonna continue on. 39, 50. Where we at now?
I get it. And I'm not trying to promote hate either. But there's a couple things I want to say. First of all, you're not ugly. You just have African features. The issue with
let me actually people are let me go and let him rock out because I don't know why I got the timestamp. We definitely need to hear him say what he got to say.
I'm proud, but people get too lost in the sauce because now they're like, oh, as a kid, I guess right because like I said,
you can just the bewilderment, you can just tell there's not a whole lot going on up there. It actually blows this guy's mind that, yeah, a lot of white women find black men attractive. You should get out more.
Remember when Dr. Umar said the black girls called you ugly and I'm supposed to believe that the white girls called you handsome? Yeah, man. Yes. As an ugly nigga, it was hell. It was hell. I didn't get shown no love, right? And I don't hold that against nobody. I'm not like one of these people that self-hate my people because like I was bullied or I felt left out. Shit happens. You get over it. But I do think
okay, let me just say this real quick. I hate this type of mentality, like a lot. Like, look, nigga, this is so damn dumb because like bro, this is so stupid. You cannot, I will say it one more time. You cannot judge an entire subgroup of people. Let me center this real quick. You cannot criticize or subjugate the entire group of people to the actions of like a few. Like I can't guess how many black women this man approached to like date him or whatever. But there's a lot of things we don't know about this story. First of all, yes, we don't know how many black women we don't know how many black girls he approached coming up, right? We don't know the options of those black girls that was growing up. They were probably being entertained by dudes that just look better than him. It's like people don't really seem to understand. Like he looks young, so I can give him some grace here. But they don't seem to understand that girl has a whole world in of herself. She has a world as well. And if in her world she's being entertained by dudes that she likes more than him, then they're not gonna. They don't have to entertain him. It just is what it is. No matter how attractive or unattractive this dude is, if those girls like the guys that are attracting or that are entertaining them more than they like this gentleman, then it just is what it is, my brother. You know what I'm saying? So not only that, we don't know how this man was approaching these girls. Like if he was young, chances are he didn't know much about how to approach a woman, how to even talk to a woman. And that's a whole nother video, okay? But there's just so much we don't know about this dude at all. Just to take his anecdotal experience with black women is just kind of weird, and it's even not, and it becomes actually stupid when you criticize black women based on this one individual's anecdotal experiences. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, as far as him, I guess he's gonna talk about how much he likes white women and stuff like that, and how that made way for him to start, entertaining white women and stuff like that because they like them more. Sure, those girls exist, right? But we don't know anything about how good they look. We don't know anything about those women's lived experience. We don't know. There's just so many factors. There's so many things to factor in before we can with confidence say what's actually the problem or what subgroup of people is the actual problem.
Regardless of sex or gender identity, if you were a black teen, teenager in like the 2010s and you were like considered ugly, and your community and the people around you considered you ugly, the first time you probably felt any form of affection might have been by somebody that didn't look like you. And that's honestly where the dangerous pipeline is. Because
man, and it's another thing. Like, bro, we don't know how old this dude was. If you didn't get your little glow up period during that time period, bro, like this, that needs to be accounted for as well, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you weren't if your first group of people that you were trying to approach was black women romantically, and you didn't have together figure wise, like if your presentation just wasn't there, guess what, bro? Like, they not gonna be feeling you. You might get talked bad about quite a bit. It's just that's how the game kind of goes. But like, for you to kind of take those experiences and then learn from it and then improve and then you start to approach like a completely different group of women with their new and improved form, right? Then you're gonna be better like receptive. You know, I guarantee you, he didn't like those girls that gave him no reason why they didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? And some of those things he could improve on, and I bet you he did. But yeah, obviously some things he couldn't improve. But again, I addressed all of that stuff already. But yeah, for you to take all your experiences and go and take that to another group of women and then report back that, these women treat me better. Okay, yeah, it's because you learned and you improved, nigga. Like, come on now.
Luckily for me, that happened to me, and like I wasn't like one of these guys like, white is right, this is the only way. Like, no, like I'm just like, okay, cool, that's great. I still love my people. I still love black women. I still love everybody. That I don't care how y'all made me feel as a kid. Like, niggas get bullied every day. Who cares? And sometimes it's not even being bullied. Sometimes it's like, oh, you don't fuck with me. I can't hold that against you. It is what it is. I don't care. I'm ugly and I'm proud. But people get too lost in the sauce because now they're like, oh, the only people that have ever showed me any form of love are white women. Oh my God. Time to go start digging in the snow. And you could live your life. You could live your truth, my brother, but like leave black people out of it. Leave the black women out of it. I'm sure Asian people are in the same way, Hispanic people in the same way. Just because people didn't give you no play don't mean you get to grow up and be like, I hate all of you.
Okay.
Okay, well, at least he got that part down, but I guarantee you, like sometimes you do need to like kind of play to your culture a little bit, like maybe change up how you dress. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what he's dressed right now, but I don't know what he is wearing when he approaches black women or anything like that. But like, man, I don't know. Like, as people, not just women, right, get older, like the way they perceive, the way they kind of engage with dating changes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're younger, the only thing you really got going is like how somebody looks. You know what I'm saying? But there's just so many different ways of which women engage a potential partner, a potential relationship or romantic partner nowadays. So I guarantee if you went back into the dating game with this newfound information, you will be able to get results from black women like 1,000%. So I don't know. Seemed like common sense to me. But again, this dude seems to be pretty young, and he just needs to have a conversation with me, basically. And hopefully he stays away from niggas like this channel that's trying to break down everything that's happening right now.
Brother, I get it, and I'm not trying to promote hate either. But
that's bullshit. Like, get real, nigga. I hate niggas be lying for no reason.
There's a couple things I want to say. First of all, you're not ugly. You just have African features. The issue with Keishas are that they're Brad worshippers.
I'm sorry. The issue with Keishas, aka black women, is that they're Brad worshippers. Is what he says. Like, dude, like, huh? So that would imply that every black woman that he approached are currently dating and or exclusively dating white men. And they're not doing it for financial gain. They're doing it because they just love the way these guys look. These women will pay all the bills. They'll do all the cleaning and the cooking. They'll do all the child rearing. They'll just treat this Brad like he's a king, no matter what. And there's no way you can substantiate that at all. There's no empirical evidence. There's no studies. There's nothing that's gonna prove that white women. I'm sorry. That Keisha, as he puts it, puts Brad on a pedestal. Not when overwhelming majority of women that are married to black men. Overwhelming number of black girls choose the black boys. I mean, I can't go. You can't go a week without. You can't go a week in a black space without seeing an abundance of black women stating that they want to have black kids. They want to have kids as black as they are. You know what I'm saying? Like there's very much so a black male worship in the black community. Like for him to just try to say that and put it on Keisha is just really stupid. You're talking about a specific category, specific subcategory of Keisha, and your verbiage leads people to believe that it's the abundance or it's the majority of black women that behaves this way. It's actually stupid. It's actually a brain dead way of understanding this whole dynamic.
So when they call you ugly, what they're really saying is you don't look like a Brad.
This is so.
They tend to judge our attractiveness based on how close we look to a Brad or not. If you've got,
let's hear it. There has to be some kind of. Let's see if he explains or like makes this make sense, because anything that you in any type of data, any type of relevant data that you can look to was just gonna prove the actual opposite. Women love their wide noses. Women love their thick lips. Women love their kinky hair. Bro, their melanated skin, and you can only get that. You get those features exclusively from black men. Let's apply some critical thinking here. You know what I'm saying?
A wider nose. If you've got bigger.
One more thing, like how often do you run how often have I seen a white man say that he likes black women, but he's always afraid if she even dates white men? You know what I'm saying? Because he likely sees that so many women they don't really mess with like interracial relationships like that. So it's like and that's a very common thing that we see. You know what I'm saying?
Your lips and you look a little more African, they typically deem that ugly. If your hair is kinkier, they tend to deem that ugly.
There's no tend to anything. Like, what are you talking about? What?
That's a them problem. The reason women outside of your race found you attractive is because they likely judged you more objectively. Are you?
That's nothing. So that was his justification that it tends to happen, but there's no empirical data, there's no studies, there's no research. He didn't bring up a black girl to interview her. He didn't do it. He just said it, and then it has to be so. This is like circular logic, okay? Like you make a statement, and then its justification is literally just going back to you reasserting the statement. Reasserting the argument. It's this dude doesn't know how to he does not know how to create any sort of persuasive arguments at all. So the fact that he has the audacity to criticize Antonio Speaks is out of control to me.
The first thing I'm gonna look for is whether you are married to a black woman or not. SBM perspective. The first thing I'm in SYSBM, and for anybody who wants to dispute an SYSBM perspective,
for anybody that doesn't know what SYSBM, goddamn, it is save yourself, black man. Yes, they do believe your and self is two different words apparently. So SYSBM, that means save yourself, black man. It's a movement of guys that think black women are the problem. That's all it really is. And I have a counter movement coming up. I mean, switch cameras. I have a counter movement called Save Your SYCBM, Save Your Culture, Black Man, and we're just the inverse of it. And all we really simply do is come in and clear up all misinformation set forth by the save yourself niggas, basically, right? So just if anybody that didn't understand that acronym or whatever.
First thing I'm gonna look for is whether you are married to a black woman or not.
So yeah, he apparently he won't even take you serious if you are not married to a black woman. This is so. If you're not married or married to a black woman, he will not take you serious. Let's hear why.
Better be married to a Keisha with 2+ kids. If
Two
you want
kids.
to
You need to have 2 kids. Okay, I didn't even hear that part first.
criticize this movement. And if you're not, I'm ignoring anything you have to say. Put some skin in the game. Put your money where your mouth is, or I don't respect your perspective.
Why? Why would you say something so fucking stupid like that? That's so aggravating that people's like, dude, that's like one of the most egregious fucking logical fallacies that you could perpetrate, that you can partake in. Like, somebody, a English teacher can approach you and say that, hey, 1 + 1 = 2. And you're like, well, you need to put some skin in the game and become a math teacher before I'm able to respect your perspective. Are you fucking stupid? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Because somebody doesn't meet your specifications for your respectability, you will not take their like logical and sound argument to heart? What are you fucking talking about? Like, a scientist that can sit there and study black people for years and come up with a lot of things that are relatively plausible based on his actual observations of black people as a whole. You cannot take him seriously because he's married to some Asian chick or something like that. Like, but despite all of the hard evidence that supports his claim, like, do you do this in like an animal kingdom too? Like of all the people, like Crocodile Dundee, do you not respect Crocodile Dundee because he's not married to a fucking alligator? Are you fucking crazy? This stuff is actually insane to me. Like, it's actually annoying. Listen to people who just have such bad arguments, like say such dumb things, and then throw especially black people under the bus for it. I mean, any group of people could. I would still have the same. It would just be as dumb as he had done it for any against any other group, 1,000%. But like, bro, it makes it personal when you criticize my people in such a manner. Like, bro, I spent like this entire video explaining how this dude is actually dumb and how his arguments don't make any sense. And his counter response is gonna be, oh, well, you're not married to a black woman, so like, and you don't have 2 kids, so I don't have to respect your perspective. Bro, these people are intellectually lazy, right? And please just stop listening to these people, because it's gonna lead you nowhere very quickly. This is the last place I'm gonna go, and then we're gonna kind of we're gonna wrap this one up.
Enough. The problem is black men. I don't want any more black men aren't doing enough. The problem is black men are the only people in the black community doing anything.
This guy's
productive black men. We're the only ones producing anything.
Let's hear the justification.
That's the problem. And we don't get anything back from the community in return. We need to deviate from this cesspool of democratically funded feminist thinking and build a new black community under an SYSBM banner.
God.
And for Dr. Umar, who I'm sure challenges this perspective, I have to say, what is your tangible alternative for the black boys of the future? What did you create with your 15 years?
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, fuck it. No justification. He just makes claims without explaining how he came to this conclusion. He just says that black men are the only ones that do anything productive in the black community. This is actually crazy. actually freaking crazy. Like, look, we're gonna I'm gonna come up with a future video that kind of details the contributions of black women and the black community. I mean, the first, I mean, bro, there's so many black writers that added their intellectual prowess into like the think tanks, into the spaces that black Congress people can kind of call upon to put more effort into investing into like black communities. Like Dr. Joy DeGruy is like the first name I can think of that actually came up with the book Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, where she kind of explains how generational trauma in black of the black community is passed down to the next of kin. In different like ways and stuff like that. Like I'm so frustrated. I'm stuttering right now. The Black Panther Party. I just talked about this. The Black Panther Party had an abundance of black women with actual rifles strapped to their chests. They didn't contribute anything. There's a bunch of black women in Congress right now. There's black female politicians right now that they wake up every morning trying to figure out how they're gonna delegate with these individuals that are trying to argue away or do away with pro-black legislation, pro-blackness. Bro, your damn mama black, nigga. Like what are we talking about? If it wasn't for a black woman, your ass wouldn't be fed. She would throw you to the wolves and then continue to live her little life the way she sees fit. Like, you don't think black women did anything for the black community? Are you freaking retarded? Dude, niggas be leaving their wives. I mean, niggas leave their families too often. Not all the time, but too often. Who's raising those kids the best way they could? Sure, it's not perfect. Sure, whatever. But who is raising those kids, seeing that they're fed, and so that they have at least an opportunity to figure life out, despite dad not being there to help them navigate it? I'm not like you. So anyway, these are the niggas that are talking shit about Antonio Talks. Antonio Talks, my brother. If you ever watch this, keep doing your thug. There was a dog. We very much so appreciate you over here. And as far as I'm concerned, you're fighting a good fight. And I hope you reach even more success than you already reached right now. Anyway, I've been hired thinking of Chicago Black Delegation Podcast, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Okay, yeah, that was a lot of fun. So we're gonna get into the next video real quick. That was definitely a long one, but it's okay. It was worth it. I'm not gonna give that dude for anybody that was kind of concerned about how come I didn't shout out that content creator. Fuck that dude, okay? I don't listen. Niggas like that don't need any type of they don't need any type of space, no type of shout outs or praise. No, they don't deserve anything from me at all. So as far as I'm concerned, he can kick rocks, and that's the nice thing I can say. So anyway, we're gonna go to the next video. This one's gonna be a lot shorter, I think. Let me see if I can do some real quick. I think I'm gonna need to, because they will copyright claim my black ass. I'm gonna try to flip it. No. So what I'm gonna do for this one is I'm gonna just have it on my face, and then I'm gonna show y'all these two gentlemen's what's the word? Instagram accounts, so you know who's talking. And then on the video itself, when it's all edited and stuff like that, I'll be able to show you guys like more visuals. But for the most part, this conversation is just these guys. Nobody gets up and does any type of martial arts or anything crazy like that. Yes, there'll be some facial expressions that you kind of see the frustration on people's face, but it's not that big of a deal that you don't actually see them talking. You will be able to hear everything they're saying though. But yeah. So we are going to get into this. All Okay. Anything that I missed real quick? Okay, not really. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead to the next video real quick. Hold on, I got one more. Things are lying. Wait, thanks for saying that. I believe things are aligned. Okay, I don't even know. Don't know what she was talking about. All right, all right, let's get into it. What's up? Why do I keep doing this thing where I want to talk extra fast? It's the coffee, bro. It's definitely the coffee. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. I'm your host. Oh, hold on. There we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. I'm your host, HC, aka High Thinking, and you're watching the Corner Show. Very interesting things happen on Jubilee today. Very interesting things happen on Jubilee. If anybody doesn't know, Jubilee is a YouTube channel that puts a strong focus on conversations and debates. They try to find creative ways to have for people to have civil conversations, and but some conversations are not civil. Some conversation like structures that they kind of have aren't necessarily the most civil either. But I do give them a lot of credit for like pushing the envelope and like forcing these people, locking them in this room, and then having them have actual conversations with it amongst each other. So that's like a huge shout out to Jubilee. Definitely subscribe to them. You will not regret it none whatsoever. So otherwise, but for right now, we're gonna check out a conversation being had between two gentlemen. Okay. And I can at least show you for everybody that's watching me live, I can at least show you what they look like here. I'm gonna show you their IG accounts so you kind of get a little bit of a better idea of who they are. But both these gentlemen are conservatives. Well, this man identifies himself as okay, there we go. Yeah, this man right here, I believe his name is Bo, identifies as a conservative, pro MAGA guy. And the man right here, I forgot his name, but we'll get into his name shortly. I apologize. But like he identifies as a Christian populist. And okay, this is a bit of a hot take. I could be wrong about this. But a Christian or a populist especially is just somebody that is like look, they how do I put this? It's liberalism. Yeah, I'll go as far as say like liberalism slash socialism slash leftism for Republicans. Like if you want to pass legislation that is like for that like sits well with if you want to pass pro-humanitarian legislation that sits well with people that refuse to vote for Democrats, you go as populist. That's just how it is. And then like everybody on the left wing side will like appreciate, okay, well, at least we're going to be able to get things that'll benefit like the general public or the working class because this guy's a populist. And he said this thing that we like. We'll be like left leaning people will be able to find connection with a populist. But the people that go for populists and only populists, again, it's because they're just stuck in this. They're stuck in identity politics. They think that like Democrats only care about LGBTQ plus agendas. They only care about like what else? Like communism, stuff like that. They don't even understand what communism is. So going back to the video here, I do want to show y'all. So yeah, I did as promised. I want to show y'all their Instagram accounts. So let me go back to this. Where we at? Oh, here we are. So yeah, the first gentleman name is Austin. Yeah, that's the okay. Well, starting from the left, the guy on the left name is Bo, and his handle is all right, white privilege. Okay, that's the Instagram name he decided for himself. Let's take a look at it. I think I'm gonna regret this. But yeah, only 1,600 followers. All right, which is, I mean, that's reassuring. This is just one of his. What's the name? So maybe he has more YouTube subscribers or some weird shit like that. Pronouns: white privilege. Okay. White privilege fragrances. Yeah. Male privilege, white privilege, and reparations perfume. What the fuck is this? What? Yeah, I gotta see this. For reparations, we smash leather and cardamom. I don't know my fragrance at all. This could be a pretty damn well constructed joke for all I know. I don't know my fragrance that well at all, but he smashed them together to create a scent so good it'll make you forget about slavery. Yeah, so that should tell you everything you need to know about this guy, white privilege. So yeah, but yeah, then we have Mason. No, not Mason. It's Austin. So the other guy named is Austin. And Austin, Dr. Julio Broughton from Atlanta, and he's not a real doctor, I guess. And well, hold on, is it not working? Okay. Yeah, he was featured on some of the other episodes, but yeah, he's very much so a conservative. Oh, this one might be kind of interesting. Civil rights movement was a political tool used by apple juice. All right, we might check that out one day. Anyway, yeah, conservative. So let's kind of get into like what's actually being discussed here. Oh, I ain't want to do that. All right. Let's go back to this. All right.
What we'll say about the colonization thing is, listen, I think if your country is being colonized, you should probably fight back. And currently, America's being colonized.
America is being colonized. Oh, bro, okay, maybe, okay, I ain't gonna lie to you. Maybe we should. Okay, yeah, maybe I should, like, okay, here's for everybody that's watching live, I can't have y'all miss this. The look on her face is like, nigga, what? This is that look Leonardo DiCaprio gave. I forgot what movie that was, but he was like, what, nigga, what? It might have been that what's the name movie? It might have been Django Unchained or something like that. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it was what, listen, that man put a lot of work in. But yes, I very much so would have the exact same expression, like, nigga, America is being colonized, huh? All right, sure, nigga. I would definitely have follow-up questions to that though. But let's see how this kind of, let's see how it progresses.
I would say most of Europe, bro. We just had 20 million people come across the border in the last 4 years. That is
immigration. Immigration is colonization to this guy. Is this nigga a comedian or something like that? Does he just do jokes? Like, this is what he does or something? Like, this is not real. Like, this is like some paid actor shit, bro. Shame on you, Jubilee, for orchestrating this. There's no way this dude is at all serious about what he's saying right now. Bro, listen, bro. Listen, bro. Bro, it's like, goddamn. And then I realized he's MAGA. And it's like, okay, you know what? I got to take that back. Because like low-key MAGA people are literally that fucking stupid. They're literally that stupid. They just are. They're that stupid. So like I can't even say with full confidence that this dude is a comedian, because I've heard worse. I've literally heard worse, like 1,000%.
Of course,
Can you
colonization.
explain what colonization is, so the viewers know?
Colonization is the colonizing of any other country.
Which means
setting up territories.
This dude said, dude, you cannot use the word, you cannot define a word by using with the word itself in in your explanation, in your, let me just calm down. You cannot define a word by using the word itself in your definition. Like, he can't think quickly, I guess. I gotta be, let me show a little bit of, grace here. Not everybody can think on their feet like that. It's okay. All right. I'll be nice here.
Within a country
Correct.
that benefits your school.
So things like controlling economics, things like controlling military.
You mean
power,
exactly like what they're doing in
territory.
Minnesota with the Somalians?
Dude, that's like controlling. No, bro, the argument there is Somalians are committing fraud. They're not controlling the economics. Are you crazy? Okay, and then we got Austin over here, with the face palm. So he already he's like, I cannot believe this dude is like my teammate. He said, I cannot believe this man just said this shit. Like, why did Jubilee pair me up with this complete moron? Like, wow, that was ridiculous. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
Somalians control.
That's not.
What?
He said that's absurd. That's absurd. That's just not what that's.
What I am saying is that we have been invaded.
I'm sorry, y'all.
As a country, 20 million people came across our border. Okay. That is us being colonized.
Is he crazy? Immigrants crossing the border is colonization to you? Are you freaking insane? Are you actually crazy? Look. There, you can say that there's an attempt that could be made, like these people crossing the border is an attempt at it. Or what I mean to say is there could be intentionality to colonize America, but that action in of itself is not. That's not just a justifiable or a complete. Okay, what I'm trying to say is you cannot say that is colonization by definition by simply just crossing the border. There's more things you have to do to justify something being that heinous. Like this, when you're talking about colonization, we're talking about what's that word? I can't think. I'm trying to fight to remember it as I was saying it. Colonization and imperialism. If it was imperial, I'll have to remember it later. Damn, it's gonna come. One day, probably gonna say it, but. All I'm saying is like there's more. You have to control things in order for things to be like you have to be in control in order for it to be the complete action of colonization. You know what I'm saying? Like let's be for real here.
No,
that is an invasion.
No,
let's go. Let's have Austin.
Wait, hold on.
And that's so smart. The other guy, the guys that was on like the liberal side, he like literally said, you know what? Okay, look, they disagree with each other. This is being able to think fast on your feet. He's like, instead of like me and I believe her name is Zena. Let me look. Yeah, instead of me and Zena like fighting him on this definition of colonization, our friend here, Austin, seems to have some pushback here. So let's let them fight. So this was a pretty dope rollout to this whole conversation, like 1,000%. So,
Austin, UK in England, would you consider them? They've been colonized.
No, they're not colonized, bro. Yes, there's a lot of people that moved into Europe because Europe has the opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Europe has the infrastructure, the jobs, like all of these things, like the life. For a lot of people, life starts in the westernized society. If everything that your country has that is producible is being siphoned and extracted to Europe or any other westernized country especially without fair trade, what do you think is gonna happen? Yes, they're gonna move to where the money is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of common sense, bro.
You just said about the immigrations is not colonization.
Dude, that'll be
Immigrants,
awesome.
We have to understand. Well, this is why I'm a Christian populist. You have to understand that people we cannot at this table.
You can't even.
No, I can. People, the 20 billion plus people that want to come over to this country are still coming over because they're escaping what legitimate colonization is. Let me finish.
No, it's because NGOs have set them up and paid for their trip across.
And I just said that, by the way, but yeah. Yes, they, yeah, I'll just say that.
Oh, please let me finish talking. There are
Zena funny as hell.
Billions of people that I know. Dr. Derek Kayongo, who's a friend of mine, who was the former CEO of the National Center for Civil and Human Rights. I know, I've seen what colonizers do to people. I've seen it. The billions of people that are coming, that want to come to this country from overseas, are doing so because they feel they have no other choice. Are they?
Yeah, it's like I just said. There's just no opportunity in all of these places throughout Africa because all of the resources are being extracted and siphoned to these Western countries. At least like places like China and Japan and like all like the Orient. Well, I can't say Orient, but like these Eastern Asian places, established countries. There is some level of better trade. I'm not gonna say if it's fair trade or not, but there's better trade being had over there. They are setting up like electricity and all these other things and stuff like that and whatever. All these a lot of good things is coming from China to Africa. What was the other point I made? So if the opportunities is being like literally siphoned from these places, yeah, it makes sense for them to go to like more established nations and stuff like that. Like, I mean, take Nigeria as an example. Nigeria is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but like there's reason why people are just leaving places like Nigeria. It's not just Nigeria, and finding homes in different parts of Europe.
That's not true. That's not true. You think every single one of those 20 million people that came across the border the last 4 years came across the border with good intentions?
What I'm saying to you is this. What I'm saying to you is this. If their country was so damn great, they wouldn't be coming over here on boats. They wouldn't be coming over here any kind of way they could to get to the United States of America. This is still the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I totally understand that. We're being invaded.
Wait a minute.
Let's get back to Greenland.
Hold on. Colonization is what happened to my people for 400 plus years.
He said that's what happened to my people for 400 years. Yes, colonization requires, I think this is the word I really want to use earlier. Colonization requires domination, right? It requires domination through force, okay? Like that, it's not just population or influx of population. It requires your foot being on the necks of another group of people. It requires an oppressed class. Okay, so he went the freedman route. He went the American freedman route. He's letting them know, like, hey, this is what happened to my people. So let's see how we respond. Let's see how Bo here, Mr. White Privilege, responds to that.
That's what colonization.
What do you mean your people?
I mean people that got melanin in their skin like me. That's what colonization is. That's what happened to my people.
So colonization can only happen by white people is what
you're
saying.
No, colonization can happen by, all you need is two classes. All you need is an oppressor and the oppressed.
Okay.
That's all you need. So the net.
That's literally what I just said, but let's keep going.
Of it is, and I want you to understand what I'm saying. Colonization, the way you are describing it, immigrants coming over here, that doesn't meet the textbook standard definition. Because what it does mean.
So and I want to show y'all, in case anybody is gonna be like, oh well, dude, like Bo is onto something because it does reach the definition. You just don't know the definition. I'm gonna show y'all. Let me show y'all real quick. What's the word I'm looking for? Colonization. So the action or process of settling among and establishing control over an indigenous people of an area. Establishing control is very much so a part of the colonization process. But yeah, settling. He read up to this word. This Bo, our guy Bo, right? He read up to this part of the definition. But he did not read the rest of it. And, this is something that happens a lot in MAGA spaces. They read just enough, right, to create their own like dog shit narratives. You know what I'm saying? And they just expect everybody to be extremely stupid. And then I don't know. Let's see the ecology, the action of a plant or animal. Yeah, this okay. We're good. But established control is like the key phrase here that our MAGA enemy actually doesn't seem to understand or doesn't want to acknowledge. So,
is an immigration problem. But the immigration problem would have to be handled differently. Logically, you cannot treat people wanting to escape from legitimate tyranny
this is
as the same. No.
You're just going to keep talking, or can I address this?
Please.
Because basically you're saying colonization fits this tight script that nobody can veer from. What happens when millions of people invade the border is then they have those people assume places of power, like Ilhan Omar, for example, and then do horrible legislation.
Bro, Ilhan Omar, I don't think she came here illegally. I think she just came here. I think she got here like legally, right? Like, did she come here illegally through like what are we talking about, bro? How's that? That's standard immigration. Like, if it by that account, bro, what are you talking about? By that account, then anybody that's here on a visa, anybody that's here illegally is arguably performing what's the name? Colonization, just because they earned a seat in office.
Does she have more power than the president of the United States?
I'm not talking about more power. What do you think happens?
Power is required for the definition for colonization. Like, you cannot have colonization without a power dynamic.
When you're being colonized, the power dynamic ends up switching.
It ends up switching. How does it end up switching? Like, you can. So he's claiming that every individual that crosses the border illegally, right, or I guess otherwise, apparently, have the intention of taking over America. I don't think so, especially when so many of them are sending so much money back to their home countries. Like, if they were trying to, I don't know, well, whatever. I'll probably take that last part back, but still, there's still not evidence that they are. I can't think. Losing my train of thought. Like, there's still not evidence that they are intending to like control like a government just because they have a seat in office. Like, it has to be like what we're talking about is group of people selling in this country and like doing by any means necessary, killing off the indigenous people or severely subjugating them. We don't see. That's not happening amongst these other, that's not happening amongst these other groups of these foreigner groups.
Irish came over here. Was that to colonization of America? Like, when does it become colonization? Like, what skin tone?
I don't think the skin tone matters.
Okay.
That's the point I'm getting at. And if you look at like the UK, for example, right now, that is basically fighting for their UK sovereignty. They have basically been colonized. The most popular name.
Well, that's not the question I asked.
Let me just finish. The most popular name in several cities throughout the UK and Ireland is Muhammad.
So it is about skin tone.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so
they have been. It's not about skin tone.
So it's not like it's about ethnicity, but let's keep going.
It's about culture. It's about culture, religion.
So when
you could add skin tone in there, sure, but it's about so many other things. The thing is, when the Irish came over here, they assimilated. They were Christian. They were Catholic.
We have to. So they have to act like the white people who were here before for it to not.
No, what I'm saying is multiculturalism doesn't work because eventually the bottom ends up taking over the top.
Multiculturalism is a problem because the bottom takes over the top. Bro, what are you fucking talking about? Bro, the bottom is just a mishmash of like a whole bunch of different like subjugated groups. So like they don't even the black community is gonna, first of all, the black community in of itself is like severely segmented in so many different subcategories, right? You know what I'm saying? Not a black, I mean, even without accounting for like things like religion or any other these different type of way you would kind of separate groups. Like territory alone it changes a lot about like black people. Like a Chicago black person has a lot of distinct differences between from a black American born in like Compton, or a black person born in like Houston, Texas, or a black person born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, or a black person born and raised in DC. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate City. It's like, no, bro. Like, that's like, geez, like it's so crazy. You have to explain these things, explain these very simple concepts to these types of people.
As we're all having a conversation, we'll take.
What's the top again? Anyway. Can you explain what the top?
The top would be.
Oh well, I didn't finish my point. But based what I'm getting at is, so like, the black community in of itself is so severely segmented, and then we're gonna be partnering up with all of these other groups that are very small in number. Like, how is this mishmash of like cultures that don't even agree on like found fundamentally on too much of anyone? Well, there's fundamentally sure there's things we agree on for sure, but like everything, no, we don't agree on everything fundamentally. How is this mishmash of cultures going to be able to take over the overarching Americanized or American culture? Like, American culture is multiculturalism. Like, there is no, these Republicans seem to think that America is a culture. No, there's no one culture there's no America culture. Like, that's not a thing, bro. Like, living in America is being able to appreciate like Mexican music. It's appreciating black people's Mexican people's music, Mexican people's food. Like, it's a celebration of all the cultures. We all sharing each other's dishes. We all sharing each other's music. We're all going, enjoying each other's company in these different like mixed, ethnicity schools. Like, it's the whole nine. That's American culture. What he thinks is American. What this guy seems to think is American culture is whiteness. No, nigga. That died in like the 50s and the 60s after the Civil Rights era. Like, come on now.
Over the top.
As we're all having a conversation, we'll take.
What's the top again? Anyway. Can you explain what the top?
The top would be Judeo-Christian values here in America that believe in sovereignty, the individualism, and
that is not American culture, bro. That shit died, bro. Like,
basically freedom.
I think that we're just operating from different points of reference and different research. I think that this is like kind of indicative of when your whole political philosophy comes from like social media and like meme accounts. Like, sometimes you don't have the full scope of what's actually happening in the world. And I think it's kind of fucked up for us to pile up on that type of worldview. Like, I think we should just maybe get back to Greenland. Like,
sure. Well, going back to Greenland, so
this dude Austin, like, man, look. Let me show y'all his face real quick. Why is this dude on my team? Why is he on my side? Because this nigga is dumb. That is the facial expression I'm getting from Austin.
To be honest, I'm not, again, a fan of just taking over these places, but I can understand where Trump is coming from. That he doesn't want Russia or China to take over Greenland. So he's basically saying that, if we don't do it, somebody else will. While at the same time, Greenland has been part of Denmark for a long time. So.
And Denmark is a NATO ally, so for Trump to even assert that Trump taking over Greenland is essential to national security, if he did that, he would violate the very agreement that the United States has with NATO, and he would destabilize the alliances that we already have. So if you did that, Mr. President, if you're even thinking about that, please don't.
And I just wanted to take back my statement earlier, because I was operating under the assumption that you guys would agree with Donald Trump. So I'm glad to see ideological diversity. I appreciate y'all being honest and defying the president's direct.
The president doesn't run me. Jesus of Nazareth does.
Understandable.
Trump does have a valid point in wanting to.
That's actually really funny. But let's keep going.
Not take it over, but he does have a point in wanting to ensure that the Chinese or the Russians don't gain more access to Greenland than they already do. But again, because Greenland is is owned by Denmark and Denmark is a NATO ally, there's no real way for this to even really be a necessary conversation, because it would, if Russia or China even attempted to do something with Greenland, that's war. That's war talk starting, seriously. So that's just not a. It's not that it's a bad topic, but if that were to happen on either side, it would create the necessary conditions for war to take place.
I also think you guys would probably differ on Trump's economic plan to like buy out Greenland. because like he proposed giving $100,000 to like every Greenland citizen. I just think that's such a slap in the face to Americans here whose quality of life and cost of living is skyrocketing.
If he did that, I would be
get
pissed because black people still ain't got reparations.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
this guy is just.
All right, here it is. This is the part I was waiting on. He just had the magic word, and that dude lost his freaking mind. Watch this.
If he did that.
So like he mentions the part about Trump giving $100,000 to all of the members of Greenland, and watch the expression on this man's face.
That I was gonna get pissed because black people still ain't got reparations.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
this guy is.
He's like, what? Sir, did you say the R word? Did he say the hard R? The hard R? Sir, did you just say the hard R in my presence? In my white privileged presence? Like, how dare you? Dude, watch this. Watch this conversation. I lost my I flipped my wig when this conversation happened.
It's just randomly based.
Wait, that's
I'm really
what?
confused. Like,
So you think black people should get reparations?
100%.
He said, so you think black people deserve reparations? Yes! The dude on your side, a black man, believes that black people deserve reparations. And let's watch them express why.
It's randomly based.
Wait, that's
I'm really
what?
confused. Like,
So you think black people should get reparations?
100%.
We generated over $233 billion for the United
You didn't.
Okay.
You said you didn't. These are old arguments. They're old. This shit don't work with intelligent people that use their damn brains. It doesn't matter if I wasn't out there picking the cotton, all of this stuff, cuz it's the fact that my forefathers did that and we were not compensated for that shit. We were not paid for 200. My lineage of people were not paid for 200 plus years. Okay, 200 plus years of free labor. There is something due in our pockets. It's not that complicated, bro. If debt is passed down through kinship, if you got some sort of if you benefited from the labor of your ancestors, then why can't I, nigga? Why can't I? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so like it's insane that they don't click with them, bro. Like this is the easy part of the conversation. The difficult part about is how we gonna be able to come up with the money. That's okay. Now that's like the state of the conversation right now amongst people that actually are taking this conversation in good faith. You know what I'm saying? But who like you weren't out there doing it. You don't deserve reparations. Your ancestor did. Yes, they deserve reparations. Yes, they deserve compensation. And guess what, asshole? If you believe that they deserve compensation, then I would, and we all understand how wealth is passed down from generation to generation, from kin to kinship. I think that kind of leads us to believe that my generation should be able to benefit from the labor of our forefathers, just the same way that your forefathers did. It's not that hard to understand this.
Hey, no. I didn't, but my ancestors did. So hold on, please let me have this one, if you don't mind.
I can tell, bro. From the look on his face, he knows that he's been here before. So let's see how he handles it.
I just debated Chattel Jackson on this, by the way.
It was a good debate.
It was, thank you.
Oh, now I see why you guys agreed.
Well, again, Jesus runs me, Trump and the Republican Party doesn't. So the thing is, you can prove, and this is conclusively so, that there are two things that happen why black people should get reparations. If Trump has the money to give $100,000 to every Greenland citizen, where the hell is the $250,000 for all of my ancestors' descendants that built this nation?
250,000. I didn't know. I don't know, man. I think California did complete their study at the very least. And what they found was, how do I put this? And what they found was that every individual in California are entitled to over $1 million. And that's what kind of led to the severe downfall of like that program. And that's surprising. Use the reason why a lot of people mad at Gavin Newsom right now. I'll let Fanatic explain that one though. But But yeah, they yeah. So I don't know where he got the 250K from. But let's see him out. Let's hear him out.
Black people generated in the 1800s, we generated what is equivalent now to $233.6 billion in total economic value for the United States.
I don't think that means you should get reparations.
Well, no, but
I'm also struggling.
I feel
like,
I feel
we're all struggling.
Right. I feel,
Dude, it don't matter. Though, like, this is so weird. Nobody. Look, yes, okay. Like I'm not okay. We do care that you're struggling, like 1,000%. But how can I explain this to you, bro? If you keep voting the way that you keep voting, and that's to the advantage of the oligarch, then you are gonna continue to struggle, my dude. Like, if you, like, it's relatively easy to conclude that the more we kind of vote to the progress of the proletariat, that's the working class, the better you're gonna end up. But if you're gonna keep voting for people that are passing like the big beautiful acts and continuing the progress of Project 2025, then guess what? Your life is gonna continue to get harder and harder and harder. Ask the farmers, okay? Ask the farmers how they feel about all these tariffs and stuff like that, and all of this mass deportation. Ask those people how they feel about struggling in America after Donald Trump won presidency. Stuff is not hard to conclude, bro. All you gotta do is step out of your echo chambers. You feel me? But regardless, Austin is doing a pretty okay job. And it's baffling. This man does not seem to. Is still lost in the sauce. But let's see if he makes progress. Let's see if let's see where this kind of progresses.
Feel that. I understand it. Everybody's struggling. Okay, that's because we have a fiat currency. We're going to talk about the Fed in a minute.
Fiat. I don't know if it's because of that. It's more. I think it's more to do with like too much emphasis going towards the oligarch class. Like both parties is like participating in it, both Democrats and Republicans. I do have hope in the Democratic Socialists. I do have hope in them. But the more we kind of go left, the more we will pass legislation the more we will pass progressive fund. How do let me say this correctly. The more we vote in left-leaning politicians, the more likely we are going to pass progressive revenue-generating legislation, which means they're going to be taxing the rich more, so that the rest of us can live much more sustainable lives. Might I remind everybody, the time that America was great, at least economically, was a time of which they taxed the ultra wealthy at like 90% at a 90% rate after making a certain amount of money. That certain amount of money at the time period was like $400,000, which today equates after adjusting for inflation, it equates about $2 million a year. So yeah, I don't know. Sure, I guess that is too scary to go back to those times for I guess a group of people. But all I'm saying is that everybody, like people all over Americans all over the nation were able to take care of their whole families off of one income. So all these conservatives are like, oh man, I love when my wife stays home and take care of the kids. I want to stay home wife and stuff like that. And then a lot of these women are saying they want to stay home too and take care of kids like that. They don't want to work and stuff like that. Those women exist as well. But like, why y'all voting for Republicans? Like when Ronald Reagan was like, and his Reaganomics was one of the most instrumental things that that attacked the proletariat or the working class. So whatever, let's keep going on.
Gold standards coming back. But again, what we can prove is even after slavery, that created what's called economic disparate impact that lasted for decades. Daniel Patrick Moynihan referenced this in his report. And he was a special assistant to Lyndon Johnson, by the way. He said that because of slavery, black people are owed, and this is a white man that said this, by the way. He released.
I don't care what color he is.
I'm establishing.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Okay. If you don't, Mr. White Privilege, if you don't care that that the guy is white or black or anything like that, trust me, there's other people amongst your constituents that do put extra that give extra brownie points for people that are actually white, or match your values. In other words, white Anglo-Saxon Christians.
A baseline of thought. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? He stated that the federal government actually does owe black people some form of economic recompense for the economic impact that was still lasting. Richard Nixon, who was a Republican, picked up what Moynihan generated was called a universal basic income plan that passed in the House, failed in the Senate because it didn't get enough Democratic support. So, and this was the same framework that Dr. Martin Luther King was using all those years ago to justify.
You can throw out names all you want.
I'm throwing out facts and data.
Like I said, you can throw out names, facts, and data all you want. All I'm saying is, I don't believe that anybody should get reparations. I'm struggling.
Well, so he's just, bro, that's crazy. So, oh my God. So Roland Martin, right? As much as everybody, not everybody, but as much as people criticize Roland Martin be like, listen, Roland Martin be on the fuck, he be on the money with the things that he says, and y'all can call him a Boule Martin. Y'all can have all the like little ad hominem attacks y'all can possibly create regarding Roland Martin. Roland Martin don't lie to y'all. All right, he's not lying to y'all. When he says that some white people, not all, some white people will literally, I'm white and I say so, you to death. This is an example of that. This man Austin just gave him fact after fact after fact after and cited it, told you, like, gave you exactly whom he is referencing and saying the things that he's like. This stuff is backed by history, by actual facts. This dude says, look, listen, bro, I hear what you're saying, but I'm white and I say so. I'm like, that has to be frustrating. That has to be frustrating for Austin. I'm like, bro, so you telling me I can be as educated as I want to be, but this dude that I'm sitting next to is just gonna can just say that, and then I have to just respect that, huh? Okay, all right. Let's see how he. Let's see the rest. Let's see what he says next, I guess.
Just like you guys are, and I think what would benefit us all the most would be if we can figure out all this fraud, take away the federal taxes that Trump is kind of promising, would benefit all of us. Versus going, hey, you know what? Black people that many, I'm sure, might not have any relation to slavery.
Bro, yeah, okay, well, damn, man, this is probably his first time ever. Okay. This is his first time going this far into this type of a conversation. So I'll give him grace there, but this is all ignorance right now. He doesn't even know that we've gotten to the point where we've delineated to the point where we already know that we are going to have to provide some sort of documentation on us being descendant of the actual slaves. So it's not, reparations for slavery is not a thing based on race. It's not a race-based claim, because race-based legislation in America is illegal. Thanks to like the 14th Amendment, given to us by the Civil Rights Bill. How do I put this? But yeah, it's a heritage-based claim at this point. We learned this from Yvette Carnell and the ADOS movement. I think Dr. Claude Anderson speaks on this. But yeah, not every black person is going to be entitled to slavery-based reparations. There can be other reparations claims that's being made that other nationalities of people could benefit from, like maybe housing discrimination, things of that nature. Again, things that happen in the last, like, let's say 100 years or whatever like that. That's very much so possible. But no, slavery, we've long since gotten past this part of the conversation.
Get a paycheck because of reparations.
Okay, well, watch this. Well, hold on. Wait.
How can we determine who was or wasn't or is a descendant of slaves?
Yeah, so there are so many ways to do this, just by tracking like lineage in regards to genealogy, as well as just like in general. We know that like the majority of Black Americans in this country come from descendants of slavery. There are, for example, my parents are immigrants, so I'm not a descendant of slaves, right? But we know for a fact the majority are. And we can also just look at this thing called generational wealth and that cycle that perpetuates. Let's not forget that after slavery,
screw the white people that don't have generational wealth and just give it to other people.
So again, right? That's why I'm a leftist. I actually want us to co-create the generations of wealth for the future, but regardless, let's not.
I love that.
Right?
We could talk more about that.
We can, and once you let me finish, right? So let's not forget the fact that Jim Crow happened, segregation happened,
which
all
maintained
of
the
these,
economic disparity.
exactly, which perpetuated a cycle downward of poverty for the black population in America.
What about
this? Simply did not happen. You did not have, and none of your ancestors in this country did not have legal bars on the amount of wealth you could create generationally for the basis of
yes, they
race.
did. I love that you pointed out the Irish earlier.
Wait,
hold on.
So dumb. Okay, bro. For whatever he's gonna say now, all we have to say is like, okay, if this was a systemic barrier for a specific group of people, or not a specific group of people, but I can't say that. If there was a legislation passed that specifically targeted a group of people, a specific lineage of people, how do I put this? Do the work, bro. Like, if black people can successfully set the precedent that yes, you can receive reparations based on the lineage claims. If your ancestors was wronged by the government, then do the work, bro. Like, why y'all stopping us when you can get on this money too? You know what I'm saying? Bro, and how you generate the money can be done in a myriad of ways. But for them to just say, like, bro, oh God, it's so annoying. For them to say, oh, the Irish, okay, well, tell the Irish to get up and do some damn, start picketing, start making some shit happen, start doing something about it. Like, the leftists seem like they'll be your allies in this, but instead y'all want to be so. You want to just stop the progress and just say y'all need to just forget about it. Like, it's so intellectually lazy. It's ridiculous.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I love that you pointed out the Irish earlier, because this actually ties in really well. The Irish and Italians came to this country and they were not allowed to own land.
Yeah.
Why? Because they were immigrants. They had to become white males in order to do it. So basically they had to throw away their old roots, classify themselves as American males in order to get land.
Wouldn't you call them white today, though?
Sure.
And that's just because it's a flexible term. I'm not trying to dismantle everything.
No, I just want to finish what I'm saying, and then I'll let you talk.
I think you're talking about the economic plight of the immigrant, though, really well. And I just want to commend you on explaining how immigrants coming here can put them in a disadvantaged position.
Sure.
I'm just saying it's not congruent with also like your opinions on state violence against migrants or anything that you just said in the last prompt. So I wanted to make that distinction.
What state violence against a migrant? She was a white woman. So regardless of that.
I was talking about ICE in general, not just Renee Good.
Well,
anyway, keep going.
I forgot where I was.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think that what you both were saying, like all three of you were saying, they're not mutually exclusive, right? Like we can talk about certain debts that, like, yes, the Irish and the Italians had economic plights. They weren't chatteled in as like private property.
But don't say I totally understand that, but don't say here that we didn't go through problems.
We did. Nobody said y'all didn't go through problems, bro. Like, what are you talking about? These are just emotional. Like, the conversation was supposed to end. That's why Austin's not saying anything anymore, because he said, look, I laid it all out, and you didn't dismantle, or you didn't address anything that I said. Austin, he didn't address anything that Austin said. He's just like, oh, listen, I'm white and I say so. Yeah. So yeah, I completely understand why Austin's not taking the mic right now, or having much else to add.
Throughout all of humanity, everybody has had.
I'm going to say,
you're right. Do you guys know where the word slave comes from?
I'm going to say something.
Do you guys know where the word slave comes from?
I do. I'm going to say something. There has been no other ethnic group within the confines of the history of this nation that had the color of their skin stigmatized like Black Americans did.
Yes.
Not one. So let me say that one more time for the camera. There is no other ethnic group in the history of this nation that had the color of their skin defined as the basis upon which they were stigmatized and used as a thing, as a tool, not a person to be respected.
And there's like so many examples of that, but I feel so bad that I just said, okay, Austin said everything he had to say, and then like 3 seconds later, he was like, look, I got something else to say about this. But yeah, let's keep going.
Not true. For the last 10 years, they have been stigmatizing straight white males and basically keeping them out of universities.
Bro, this man Austin just slapped him. He just slapped the table like, bro, I'm so sick of this man. That's all I'm saying right now. Oh my God, this is literally one of my favorite episodes of Jubilee. They was cooking in this one, boy. Everybody can learn something from this one, like for sure.
Jobs and moving up in careers because of it.
And the thing is,
all the reports are coming out right now.
Mason, let me get this.
Wait, but you had a great monologue.
You do know that at one point it was illegal to even teach slaves to read. It was illegal to even issue birth certificates.
I understand. You never went through that. Why should?
Bro, he said you didn't. God damn, he's crazy. This man is crazy. Oh my God, bro. If your grandparents, even if it's your great grandparents, were not allowed to read, you don't think that's gonna heavily influence the way they're able to generate income? You didn't know that? You didn't know? You don't understand that, bro? Like seriously, it doesn't matter if he specifically didn't face that. The fact that the people that passed down their wealth to his generation, god damn, the fact that the people that is god damn, oh my, I'm about to get a brain aneurysm because of this episode. The fact that those people that specific group happened to, right? That's that generation that happened to. The fact that he is descendant of them means that what he has to start his life out with concurrently is specifically directly attached to that group by way of how much money they're able to give them, like how much land do they own, assets, stocks, everything that you can pass down to the next of kin. Like all of those things is like a starting point for your group. And if you have a whole group of people, right, that is like essentially 200 years behind everybody else, 200 years behind everybody else, and that's slavery alone. But an additional 200, around 200 years of direct systemic oppression by way of so many different examples. I mean, communities was built when we were able to generate income, and then aggregate all of these funds into like smaller and into our specific communities. Bro, a white man went to these communities and said somebody, attacked one of their women and they burnt it all to the ground. And then if that wasn't the case, they ran highways through these cities, through these communities, displacing all these black people. Okay? Bro, it's so frustrating watching these conversations happen over and over and over again. So the money that the generation that preceded me made or missed out on due to the color of their skin does affect me, because literally due to the money that they literally due to inheritance and stuff like that. Like somebody like him, I'm not gonna say white people, because I don't think the majority of white people are this damn stupid. I truly don't believe that. People like him that want to pretend that they didn't receive any sort of like inheritance and stuff like that. Like it's just completely baffling. Like for you to pretend like inheritance is not a thing to benefit your argument, like it's just all types of bad faith. It's just all types of like, we're no longer having a honest dialogue. You're here for the wrong reasons. You're not here to create to find actual solution and like to progress the conversation forward. You're just stopping all productivity or progression at all costs, even if you have to look like a complete idiot in the process.
Should I pay you for it?
Listen, my daddy was born in 1965. He and his mother, let me be clear, my grandmother saw Dr. King give the I Have a Dream speech. Shirley Franklin saw Dr. King give the I Have a Dream speech. So they were alive during the time that the lasting economic impact of slavery and redlining and Jim Crow and segregation and the lack of real estate access had direct impacts on black Americans. So it may... We may not have been in the fields, but we were still suffering the economic disparity of impact from policies that were hundreds of years old. So
and now white guys are suffering economic impacts because of what you guys have done for DEI for the last 10 years. I'm actually shocked.
Black people only made up 3% of all DEI hires. What are you talking about?
I know it actually benefited white women the most, didn't it?
Right.
So so like, okay, I'm gonna end it with this, and y'all can watch the rest of it if y'all want, bro. Yes, white women disproportionately, white women benefit the most from DEI hiring and stuff like that. And black people made up about 4% of that. And we saw, and when Donald Trump came in and did his thing with DEI, and next thing we know, 300,000 black women lost their jobs. That obviously heavily impacted the black community 1,000%. Look. You saying that white women was a huge benefactor of DEI is not the dunk you think it is. Like, not at all. Like, those white women, are directly attached to white men. Like, I'm pretty sure the majority of those women that were married to white men. So that money that they made from DEI practices or whatever you think DEI practicing is, I guarantee you he doesn't know what DEI, what it actually does or what it actually means. If he didn't even understand what colonization even meant, yes, he would also not understand what DEI. But the fact of the matter is, if these women are married to white men, that they have white sons, that yes, white males 100% benefited from their women benefiting from DEI. Okay, so again, if you guys want to watch the rest of this 1,000%, please watch. The title of it is "Does MAGA Think ICE Has Gone Too Far?" It's a roundtable under the Jubilee YouTube channel. And if 1,000%, check them out. Again, Jubilee does good work. They get in all types of characters on these types of conversations. So anyway, yeah, I've been hard thinking of the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Okay. Yep. So we got one more. We're gonna go one more place. Everybody, I appreciate y'all sticking with me. And at the very least, this time you'll be able to get a visual. Because again, I don't want Jubilee to kind of flag me. Let me get a swig of this pot pie because yeah, there we go. Super cold already. But anyway, yeah, I hope y'all enjoying it, man. Like I told you, I'm gonna be coming up with some more videos. I'm like I said, I'm splitting this into 3 different segments, and I'm gonna on the back end, I'm gonna chop them up into 3 different videos, separate videos, and then put them all on YouTube so people can kind of enjoy it, whatever. So they don't have to watch the long live stream in order to get to the thing that they really want to watch. Anyway, as we finish chewing real quick because I want to start the video with food in my mouth. Okay, so okay, we're gonna be talking about Brennan Johnson. So let's check it out. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Chicago Black Delegation Podcast. I'm your host, AC, aka High Thinking of the Corner Show, and today we're gonna be taking a look at Brennan Johnson's press accountability. A snippet from his press accountability. This is the part where the mayor will have conversation with like press. They come in and ask questions, and it's all filmed live, and yeah, and it's a good transparency model. Everybody's able to ask like a question, a follow-up question, and I think it's really interesting it's really important for Chicagoans to watch these sort of things. And I would argue to say like it's important for everybody from any city to like pay close attention to these types of conversations in their own respective cities. Chicago being the bigger city is going to be a little bit more going on. Like obviously smaller towns, smaller villages, there won't be like this big thing where cameras and big room and but that's just up to you to attend your local town halls and stuff like that to ask the questions yourselves. because they have no choice but to answer those types of questions. Again, this is just a part like the your whole local civics thing. Please engage with your local government officials and stuff like that to understand where your tax dollars is going. But in here on the Chicago Black Dutchman podcast, we will definitely be engaging with everything, with at least as much as we can with what Brandon Johnson is present forward here. I will be coming out with a video that kind of details the accomplishments of Brandon Johnson. There's a lot of conversation about what Brandon Johnson is not doing for Chicagoans. And I think it's good that we kind of not forget what good he's bringing to the city as well. So, and I think that part is, if left unaddressed, I think people are going to have a bad idea. How do I put this? I think people are going to have not the right idea or not be in the right frame of, I think the best way to put it is they'll be under the wrong frame of reference when deciding if they want to reelect him as mayor. So, but yeah, but without further ado, let's kind of get into what this conversation is particularly about. So I'm gonna let the video kind of play out, and I'm gonna let y'all and I will cut in and where I need to bring some extra level of detail. So let's go ahead and check out the video. Let's see what they're talking about.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Mark Armstrong, and today's Chi Guardian Deep South Press Corps City Hall coverage is also for 2 WVON Sunday programs.
Okay.
So, certain news audiences and the pundit likes of Judge Joe Brown suggest that you pushing back on Clarence Thomas's concurring opinion about protecting repair programs by injured class instead of race smacks of leftist liberal spite instead of pragmatic governance. What will you do to make the city's Reparations Task Force sabotage-proof against race-baiting lawfare like the Judicial Watch lawsuit?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty good question. Joseph Brown, just a little bit about him. He's a relatively conservative former judge. Y'all know him from the TV show. Yeah, he's definitely on the conservative side. He is arguably for black folk. But like, I don't know, a lot of people would disagree with that due to his aggressively conservative takes and stuff. But yeah, he's criticizing Brandon Johnson for I guess not performing pragmatic politics. And the person that's asking the question here, he is concerned that this could affect the Reparations Task Force. So let's see what Brandon Johnson has to say about this.
Well, look, the reason why, let me just first of all say, the reason why we put forth this reparations investment was so that we can have a pathway of what repairing harm could look like. To the previous question around the future of communities like Bronzeville or Austin, you cannot have a blanket general conversation around reparations without talking about the specific harm and the damages that have been done specific to Chicago. As you know, and as many people in the city know, I was on the front line fighting for our neighborhood schools. I went on a hunger strike. I've taken arrests in this city because we saw how previous administrations intentionally harmed black folks. I mean, the school closings, for instance, I believe that there were well over 1,100 or 1,200 students that the system never accounted for after the school closings, of which 223 of them roughly were in my neighborhood, right? So we have seen that harm. We've seen how a cover-up of a young boy being murdered by a police officer created a great deal of distrust and harm to people. We know that there are a number of black men and brown men in particular that have been tortured by the police department here, and then it was covered up by the state's attorney. I can go on and on. I mean, there's certainly enough information available to us about the specific harms. So this task force that's fully funded is going to go through a series of conversations so that harm can ultimately be, fully documented. And then we'll have recommendations moving forward of how we can repair that harm. I've offered up some things in the meantime. Again, this investment bond. Again, investing in youth employment. Again, investing in mental health clinic. You know this, Mark. When I was on the county side, we saw the harm of mental health clinics being closed. That's why we reopened them. And then finally, as far as Clarence Thomas is concerned, it's just hard for me to accept any frame centered around Clarence Thomas who voted against affirmative action, right? And so this is not like sort of a leftist ideological position. That's the position that the justices have taken. And no, there aren't examples of how Justice Clarence Thomas has shown up for working people across this country. In fact, there's more evidence of how he has exacerbated the very harm that we're trying to repair through this Reparations Task Force.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the answer. Kind of just kind of laying out the purpose of like the Chicago's Reparations Task Force, which is the intel gathering, basically, and then he says that it will be following up with recommendations on how to address certain things, address the specific harm done to Chicago's black Americans, or black citizens. So yeah, I think it's gonna have a lot to do with like redlining, but again, we'll see what they kind of come up with it. I'm pretty sure they'll mess around and find things that I'm even unaware of. So, but yeah, let's see how this conversation continues.
Well, as I move on to the next question, the bottom line is that jurists and reparations experts say that your executive order does not narrow it down to an injured class, which in this case would be descendants of chattel slaves based
That's
in the United
whole
States.
point of the executive order is to, and as I said to you last week, it's not, I want to be as specific as I know I can be, which is this is about repairing the harm done to descendants of slaves. And just keep in mind, if you go back and review my response to your question, I was just simply calling out the hypocrisy, right? Because it's the Trump administration and right-wing ideologues that have accused me of concentrating too much on black folks, right? And then at the same time, now they're trying to suggest that somehow that concentration doesn't exist in the task force of reparations. They can't have it both ways, is simply what I'm saying, is the heightened hypocrisy that exists in this country, in this moment, and not just in this country, but even this city. I just read the other day ago how the Civic Federation, for instance, that recommended a corporate head tax a year ago and then did not recommend it this time. And then the same Civic Federation that helped the so-called alternative budget get passed are now giving it a failing grade. So that hypocrisy exists at every single level. And yes, I'm going to call that out, because if we don't call it out, it allows for misinformation to promulgate throughout the ether and therefore confuse people, and then people miss out on their blessing. And the blessing is that I'm leading a city right now that is leading a resistance in this country that ultimately is calling for us to stand up for working people. So when people are being hypocrites, particularly the Trump administration or anything that's connected to it, I'm going to call it out.
Okay, got it. So our infamous cauldron of sources say that the city's reparations task force is currently on pause. So that leads to the question of where is the body activity-wise, that is, beyond paying out stipends for members and partner organizations? What are the partner organizations? And has the body met yet, and what has it accomplished at this point?
They have met, and it's open and transparent. And, the body of work and those meetings are all open to the public. We want people to participate in them. If you want some of the initial readout, we can definitely put you in contact with the entity of my administration that is facilitating these community organizations as well as these individuals who are essentially giving their time up for this moment to ensure that whatever comes out from this presentation or from this task force, it puts us on a pathway to ultimately heal and to restore and reconcile again the very people who have been harmed by slavery.
Can you do that today?
Sure, we can get somebody to get that to you. Yeah, thank you, Jamar.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so let's take a look at the internet site that is available to everybody. Mind you, before I begin this, pretty good answers. Honestly, he answered the questions. He definitely answered the questions. regarding like these claims that that the reparations task force is no longer like functioning, they're no longer active or something like that. I don't know where the speaker or the the reporter gets his information, anything like that. But Brandon Johnson quickly nipped that in the bud, and is able to provide evidence of that. So, but yeah, let's take a look at the site itself. You all can kind of check, can find it relatively easy. You can go to Google and type in Chicago Reparations Task Force, and and this will pop up. But chicago.gov/city/en/site/Chicago reparations initiative home. Just use Google. But yeah, here we have it. Repair the past, reimagine tomorrow. Chicago's reparations study. The city of Chicago strives towards a future in which every resident can thrive and where identity and social status no longer shape life outcomes. Our goal is to produce Chicago's reparations study. The study is essential in ensuring Black communities have fair access to resources and opportunities, as well as fostering a more just, equitable, and prosperous city. Chicago's reparations study is a transformative action plan that aims to build pathways to repair generational harm faced by Black Chicagoans, which includes but not limited to community ownership, economic opportunity, health equity, housing, public safety, quality education, and wealth building. So this, for the most part, is gonna look, from the look of things, is gonna be specifically pertaining to individuals that still live in Chicago. It doesn't look like it's gonna help out individuals that left Chicago. If there's a possibility that it's gonna be it's likely there's gonna be a lot of money being put into it's likely that it will be a lot of investment being put into predominantly Black communities, where it's not just Black people that are descendant of slaves predominantly live. Like, obviously there's going to be different types of people that immigrated here, whose grandparents immigrated here or whatever, that didn't face slavery, but likely did, face other types of racial disparity or racial consequences and stuff like that. So there is that. So I do believe that the guy that asked the question was like, okay, well, people are saying that this is not specifically for what they would call FBAs or anything like that. People that are foundational to Chicago, or Black people that are foundational to Chicago. It's more so to do with pretty much anybody that just have Blackness. It's more specifically, it's going to be people that just live in this community, right? The Black, again, whether they're Black, Latino, or otherwise. But I mean, I could be wrong. Let's kind of see what else that we can kind of find here. But yeah, it's about let's learn more about the study here. Reparations Task Force. Okay. We're not going to go over everything here, but Reparations Task Force on June 17, 2024, Mayor Brandon Johnson signed a historic executive order establishing the Reparations Task Force, an essential step forward addressing the historical harms committed against Black Chicagoans and their ancestors through the form of reparations. Chicago plans to leverage the collective power of the City of Chicago, City Council, and Community Task Force to conduct a study of historic inequities Black Chicagoans face and identify appropriate remedies to address harm. This work is about creating a more equitable Chicago by building wealth, expanding opportunity, and empowering Black residents. Reparations are a necessary step to repair the generational harm caused by systemic racism. Okay, so I want to make a quick correction to what I just stated then. Yes, it does say Black residents, and there is a concern that it will encompass everybody that's Black, but not specifically American freedmen, or in other words, those descendant of American chattel slavery. But it is heavily implied to be that way, knowing that the Chicago's Black residents is primarily individuals that are descendant of slaves. So depending on what they kind of come up with on how to redress this or find the solution crafting, it will kind of dictate whom will directly benefit. So if it's going to be like social programs, like investments in a particular community, yes, it's going to involve it. Yes, people that are just ethnically black will be able to benefit. You know what I'm saying? And arguably, if it's like some sort of investment in Chicago, South and West Side, everybody that lives in these communities will be able to directly benefit. Now, what people may not, for the people that are like naysayers about this, okay, well, it's not like white people will be able to benefit, Latinos will be able to benefit, tethers, all these people will be able to benefit. The fact that these people are still paying taxes, the fact that these people are providing a service to in specific predominantly black communities is still a service within for the American freedmen. But I would suggest that American freedmen just get up and take a full advantage of these programs that they will set forth to redress different types of disparities aimed against or levied against Black Americans, especially in Chicago. So I think people should also understand that this is like Chicago's not going to be able to pay out chattel slavery reparations. It's not. This is not what this is gonna be about. I think American chattel slavery is more or less a federal claim. If it's not a federal claim, it's gonna be something that need to be levied against the states that participated in that slavery. If not, the businesses that benefited from American chattel slavery. Namely, the stock market. You know what I'm saying? So, or the stock exchange building, Wall Street. So I think people need to understand that, and first and foremost, but like things such as redlining, I think this is going to be a aim to address that. Again, there's going to be some things that like. Racism, I guess all I'm trying to say is it's going to address the racism specific to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to come up with, it's not going to have an answer for everything of which that happened outside of the binds of or the bordering of Chicago. So it wouldn't make. I'm just saying arguably it wouldn't make sense to expect Chicago, the city of Chicago, to pay out slavery reparations because Chicago wasn't the only place that benefited from slavery reparations, but Chicago did benefit from systemically attacking Black Chicagoans and other aspects and other areas. This is going to be up to the Reparations Task Force to kind of come up with, and hopefully they do a good job at that. So let's continue reading here. Chicago's journey to reparations. The topic of reparations is not entirely new to Chicago. Executive Order 2024-1 is a codification that expands on previous reparative efforts led by the city of Chicago and many community-based organizations in Chicago. What sets this initiative apart, however, a government commitment to working with the community to build a transformative plan of action. Listed below are a few of reparative efforts that have taken place in Chicago. So these are things that already happened, apparently. Well, let's see. Community-led reparative efforts. Imagining Reparations, Black Root Alliance, BRA, convened residents, thought leaders, cultural workers, and activists together for a discussion to imagine what reparations could mean for Black people in Chicago, inequity for sale, and artistic, virtual, and physical exploration of how homes sold on land sale contracts in the 50s and 60s demonstrate how legalized theft and the Black directly contributed to present inequity in Black communities, the plunder of Black wealth, a publication that quantified the amount legally but unjustly extracted from black communities in Chicago through predatory residential contracts selling during the second Great Migration of 1940 to 1970. Not exactly sure what they mean by that. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what Google can kind of say about this. The black community in Chicago through predatory residential contracts selling. Okay. Okay, so AI overview states that during the second Great Migration, Chicago's black community was targeted by predatory contracts. So I think I know where this is going. I think they're gonna be referencing. Well, let's just read it. Let me just go ahead and read it. During the second Great Migration, Chicago's black community was targeted by predatory contract selling or contract for deed or agreements, which peaked in areas like North Lawndale due to redlining. Black families were denied traditional mortgages, forcing them into deeds with exorbitant interest rates, high down payments, and no equity buildup. Sellers retained legal ownership, allowed them to evict residents instantly for missing a single payment, resulting in immense financial exploitation. The mechanism: contracts allow buyers to make payments directly to sellers, avoid banks, but they often pay far above market value for homes that require major repairs. The impact: thousands of homes were sold this way, often following blockbustering tactics where white residents were inducted to sell cheaply before black residents bought at inflated prices. Responses: the widespread exploitation led to the formation of the Contract Buyers League in the 1960s to combat these practices. Context that occurred. This occurred as hundreds of thousands of black Southerners moved to Chicago between 1915 and 1960 to escape segregation. Yeah, so like these people was basically cashing out on slavery, on segregation. These people wanted opportunity. They wanted a better life, and these people were just pretty much took full advantage of that by way of selling them basically fake mortgages. These people wanted somewhere to live, and these people sold them pretty much housing, but they didn't sell them the equity along with the housing. These black folks probably didn't even understand anything about real estate. They just wanted someplace to live. You know what I mean? So. These are for the most part the findings from what I understand. Why is this? Okay, we'll go with it. Anyway, which I'll be able to see this too. So city council led reparative efforts. So a passage of resolution urging Congress to consider payments to the descendants of slaves. This was in 2000. Okay. So this has been going on for a minute. Passage of resolution urging Congress to consider payments to the descendants of slaves, or passage of the first slavery era insurance ordinance in America, issuance of a $5.5 million reparations package for survivors of police torture under Commander John Burge. So this is something really interesting to kind of look up. A vote to start a committee to examine equity in the city, and passage of the business, corporate, and slavery era insurance ordinance. Okay, so city departments declared racism as a public health crisis, established established racial equity liaisons, and the responsibility to set and publicly post an annual racial equity goal for each department and agency of the city of Chicago, codified the Office of Equity and Racial Justice, published racial equity action plans, multi-year strategic plans that articulates how a department will work to improve equitable outcomes in their core work. Launch citywide Together We Heal initiatives, reviewed 500 public sculptures, plaques, and artworks to identify misalignments with the city's value and propose corrective actions through the City Movement Project. Approved Chicago citywide plan, Will We Chicago, recognizing historical inequities and outlining goals to advance neighborhood growth, vibrancy, safety, and belonging into 2023. Allocated $6.8 million in grants to construct 8 new public monuments, including one honoring more than 100 black men tortured by police under John Burge. Invested $500,000 to study reparations and restoration as part of Mayor Brandon Johnson's 2024 fiscal year budget back in 2023. So yes, this has been paid for already. So, which is a good thing. And a lot of people are gonna like kind of complain that this that we've had reparation studies already. What do we need another reparation study for? We need to go straight to action. And these arguments are understandable for sure. But like what people don't seem to understand is there is specific things that happen in Chicago that are specific to black Chicagoans. You know what I'm saying? And as I said earlier, reparations, how reparations look like in Chicago is just not the same conversation that we're going to be having. It's not the same conversation as reparations claims that were found in California. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be different than DC. It's going to be different in like different parts of the South. It's different federally. You know what I mean? It does not make sense to expect the city of Chicago to pay slavery to pay back. How do I put this? It just doesn't make sense for the city of Chicago to pay back chattel slavery. You know what I mean? Pay us back for chattel slavery when Chicago, it's not just that Chicago didn't benefit from it, but it didn't happen. Like it just didn't happen in Chicago. Again, like chattel slavery, it's a federal claim. You know what I'm saying? That's where that battleground needs to be had. Now, again, that's not to say that we are. It's not to say that we shouldn't get anything. You know what I'm saying for being descendant of slaves in Chicago. Yes, things definitely did happen to the city of Chicago, like namely the countless of black communities that were displaced under different type of renewal acts and stuff like that, and the crafting and the creation of highways, which was basically a result of like things like the GI Bill, giving power to white people to move out of the city of Chicago and into suburbs that like had a huge impact on Chicago's economy, which had a huge impact on the black people that moved to Chicago looking for opportunity. You know what I'm saying? It's like it wasn't just white people being participating in the white flight of Chicago, but it was also like the federal government even empowering them to do so. So and there's an example of like these different communities that just did not want black people living there. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that the government incentivized these types of things by not giving these GI grants and loans to black people, despite them fighting, shedding blood and losing limbs and doing all of these things in the war, to strip them from those privileges is just completely insane to me. So Chicago did 100% do that to like did a number on black people, and if Brandon Johnson allocated $500,000 to create this team that is gonna get to the very bottom and how, you know what I'm trying to say, if he allocate all his money to get to the bottom of like what black people, what happens to black people, and eventually get into solution crafting for Chicago's black residents, I think that's very commendable in of itself, especially him being the first mayor to do something like this. It's like super duper dope. I think Lori Lightfoot would have did something as well, but you know, COVID happened, so I'll give her that grace. But anyway, we are going to be continuing the coverage of Chicago's Mayor Brandon Johnson and his and what he's doing for not just Chicago's black population, but also Chicago as a whole. So yeah, stay tuned for us for that. And definitely check out this website, the Chicago Reparations Task Force, and how they are going about conducting these studies and stuff like that, and keeping the track of their findings. We will definitely be monitoring the actions and everything that comes out as a result of this Reparations Task Force, because it definitely affects us specifically. But yeah, stay tuned for more and then some. I'm Howard, thinking of Chicago Black Delegation Podcast, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Okay. So that was our show, everybody. I appreciate y'all sliding through and showing me a little bit of love and all that good stuff. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the chats. But it's been over 2 hours already. And I very much appreciate everybody's, commitment to our show. And that's in relation to watching our content, liking, sharing, all of the good stuff. I will definitely be continuing this project of mine. As you see, I'm putting some actual investment into it. I got me a nice little green screen. Y'all gonna see me y'all gonna see how I utilize that in due time. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. You're definitely, as I said earlier this stream, expect some content coming out of us this week, starting with tonight's. And we'll have a video coming out tomorrow, and then from there, I do have to wrap up some other videos too, but expect and then I gotta edit these videos. So like I said, content's definitely gonna be coming out for y'all to kind of like chew on and engage with and stuff like that. So anyway, yeah, man. I'm gonna let y'all go, and I'll see y'all around, man. Be blessed, everybody.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath.
Let's see what's on TV.
As the king's brother, you should have been first in line.
Well, I was first in line until the little hairball was born.
That hairball is my son.
Is that what you were trying to get to?
Trying to get.
You bite the fry bites back, my man. Damn. Crispy crunch.
Let me put my mind on something that'll motivate me to manifest.